What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Primetime Sports Podcast, hosted by Joey Malari. You are listening to WZBC AM Sports Radio. This is my weekly segment on Tuesday nights from 7 to 8 o'clock. I think this is my second one now, maybe my third, live in the studio here on Tuesday nights. So I'm going to bring you guys an hour of sports over the next hour. So I'm going to start off with the MLB, talk about their playoffs and what's been going on there. Obviously, the Phillies end up beating the Padres in 5 games. The Astros beating the Yankees as well just a couple nights ago now on Sunday. Ended that series. Tough series for that Yankees team, getting swept in 4 games by the Astros. Then I have the Phillies and Astros. I'm going to preview the World Series, give you guys my predictions of what I think is going to happen in that big showdown between the Phillies and the Astros on Friday night in Houston on Fox. That game will be game 1 of the series. Then I'll move on to the NFL, talk about the Giants a little bit, talk about the Patriots as well. I'll have 2 friends coming on to talk about the Patriots, talk about everything sports. We're probably going to talk Celtics, Red Sox, Bruins, maybe even the Giants as well if we're lucky. We're going to talk everything sports. They're going to come on, probably give some more insight into the Patriots and how they've been playing. Obviously a tough game last night for the Patriots against the Bears. Then I'll break down some things going on across the NFL with the NFC East being a powerhouse all of a sudden, the Jets being 5-2, the Giants being 6-1. And then I'll also talk about Rodgers and Brady and what's going on there. Both those guys really struggling so far early in this season. And then I'm going to give you guys my NBA season predictions, which I meant to do last week, just did not get to it, obviously. So give you guys my predictions for that, who I think is going to be the MVP, the Defensive Player of the Year, the Rookie of the Year, defensive or first team All-NBA, second team All-NBA. Give you guys all my predictions for that. And then also break down some record predictions for the Eastern and Western Conferences. So I'm going to start off with the MLB. So the Phillies end up beating the Padres in 6 games, or 5 games rather. Actually, my prediction was Phillies in 6. They had winning that in 5 games. Huge for the Phillies. Obviously now to get an extra few days of rest. Now they'll have 4 days of rest before they play on Friday night in Houston. Now they'll have their pick of who they want to pitch between Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler, both those guys being aces. I think they're going to end up going with Nola. I think he's the better pitcher of the two of them, even though both obviously are great pitchers. I would lean towards Nola, since now he's been putting up great numbers. Both guys have, though, so you can really justify either guy being, the starter in game 1. Really can't go wrong either way. As for the Astros, though, beating the Yankees in 4 games gives them a ton of a huge advantage at the end of the day, now that they can rest their bullpen, rest their starting pitching for an extra couple of days than they would have had if they didn't beat the Yankees in 4 games. Obviously, if that series goes 5 games to 6 games, they don't get that rest. So it makes a big difference at the end of the day, especially in the game of baseball. You want your starting pitches to be healthy by the time you get to the postseason, or as far as you can get into the postseason, that is. So as for the Phillies, though, they've been helped out a ton by Bryce Harper, obviously the 2021 National League MVP. He's been hot for them. First player to hit a home run in 3 different series-clinching wins in a single postseason in MLB history. So very impressive there, hitting a home run in 3 straight series-clinching games. Huge postseason to him in general. I think he's the best hitter in the whole entire major leagues. I think he's the best player in baseball right now. I think he's the one player I would not want to face right now. As the Phillies, though, they really turned this season around. Through the first 50 games of the season, they were 21-29. That was tied for 4th worst record through the first 50 games for any team to win a pennant, which the Houston Astros in 2005 were 18-32. The Washington Nationals were 19-31 in 2019. And then the 1914 Boston Red Sox were 20-30. So if you look at it, that's 3 teams right there that had a worse record that is, in the first 50 games than the Phillies had this year, being 21-29, and they end up winning, 87 games total over the course of the season. Really not enough than most teams would. They were the 6th seed in the NL, the last wildcard team, ended up making a run, obviously beating the Cardinals in the first round, and then beating the Braves in the second round, and now beating the Padres in the third round, and now obviously are in the World Series against the Astros. So they really turned this season around. Obviously firing Joe Girardi mid-season maybe created a spark for that team. If you look at it, they finished the season 87-75, 6th in the NL, as I said, and end up beating 3 great teams to get to where they are now. So very impressive postseason for them. In Bryce Harper's first 30 playoff games of his career, hitting .286 with a .358 batting average, a .358 slugging percentage, and a .639 slugging percentage, and a .358 on-base percentage. Very impressive numbers in his first 30 playoff games. .286 batting average, .358 on-base percentage, and a .639 slugging percentage. And against the best in the playoffs, he's averaged at least 1 home run every 13.5 plate appearances. 10 home runs and 135 plate appearances. That comes from J.J. Cooper, who writes about the MLB. So very impressive obviously, for the Phillies. And if you look at it, I think it really starts with their executives and who's higher up in that organization. I had them in my predictions in April. I had the Red Sox versus the Phillies. Obviously, the Red Sox did not work out, didn't even make the playoffs. The Red Sox and the Phillies were my World Series matchup for this year in 2022. And as I said, didn't work out for the Red Sox. But for the Phillies, though, the reason I had them in my World Series prediction is because of what they did in the offseason. Obviously, you add a guy like Kyle Schwarber. You have Nick Castellanos, two great pieces there. You have two of the best pitchers in baseball, Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler. You already had Bryce Harper, an MVP candidate. Then you add in a couple other pieces like Bryson Stott, a rookie, obviously a prospect for them coming up. You have another couple good pieces in Alec Boehm, a young player there. I saw a lot of good things out of this Phillies team. And if you look at it, who their general manager is, the president of baseball operations, is Dave Dombrowski. And he actually became the first executive in MLB history to lead 4 different organizations to the World Series. Did it with the Marlins, the Tigers, and the Red Sox. 3 different organizations, and now brings a World Series pennant, or a chance to win the World Series, bring a pennant to Philadelphia for the Phillies now in 2022. So very impressive history, obviously, for the Phillies. President of baseball operations in Dave Dombrowski. He just wins. Whatever it takes to win, he does. And that's why I had them winning the NL this year. Because I think if you look at it, a lot of people look at the Dodgers, which in my predictions before the playoffs, I think I had the Dodgers in it. Or I'm not even sure if I actually did predictions for the postseason. Because once I started doing predictions, the first round was already over. The wild card round was over. But I think if you look at it, I probably would have had the Dodgers winning. And that's because of how well the Dodgers are run. But if you look at the Phillies, they're in win-now mode, especially when you have Dave Dombrowski as your president of baseball operations. You are always in win-now mode. You are always in win-now mode with him. He doesn't care who he's going to trade. Look at what the Red Sox did to get Chris Sale. Trading Yoan Moncada, one of the best prospects in baseball. I think he was number 1 and number 2 at the time. And then if you look at it, it really worked out for the Red Sox. You end up winning a World Series in 2018. So it works out at the end of the day, but the Red Sox did give up a lot in that deal. Yoan Moncada didn't really pan out completely, but the Red Sox did give up Michael Kopech as well, threw 103 miles an hour from the mound. Great pitcher as well. And if you look at it now, you win a World Series, but Chris Sale isn't the player he once was, obviously. But at the end of the day, you win a World Series, so it's worth it. So this Phillies team, obviously making trades at the deadline, getting Noah Syndergaard and getting David Robinson from the Cubs, Noah Syndergaard from the Angels, and getting a guy like Brandon Marsh from the Angels. All 3 of those moves were win-now moves. Win-now moves. And that's very important, especially in today's day of sports. If you want to go all in, you have to go all in. And that's what the Red Sox did when Dave Dombrowski was the president of baseball operations, and now that's what the Phillies did. And that's why I had them winning the National League this year. And obviously, I think in my prediction, I think I had the Red Sox winning in 6 games. So at the end of the day, it's not like I had the Red Sox, losing to the Phillies in 6 games. My prediction right now, though, is different. Obviously, the Red Sox aren't in it, so, it's not going to be the same. But my prediction right now is the Phillies beating the Astros in 6 games. And if you look at it, the Astros are a powerhouse. 4th World Series appearance in the last 6 years. They won the World Series in 2017, 106 and 56 on the year, number 1 team in the American League. And if you look at it, they just went on a run in the postseason without losing a game. They did not lose a game in the postseason. And if you want to look at what they did in the regular season versus the Phillies, so you can base that, I guess, in your predictions, the Phillies and the Astros finished the regular season versus each other. That was both of their last regular season matchups. And the Phillies ended up losing 2 out of 3 games to them. Only took 1 game out of 3 to that Astros team. So the Astros are 2-1 against the Phillies. And the Phillies, right now, I think are just hot. That's why I like the Phillies to win this in 6 games. I think what the Phillies have been doing in the postseason so far is just something that the Red Sox did in 2018, where no deficit is too much for that team to come back from. And that's what you want. At the end of the day, you want your team to be hot in the playoffs. And that's what this team is right now. This Phillies team, there's something gritty about this team that they're in win-now mode. And you look at what their lineup's doing. Bryce Harper's hitting .419 in the postseason, 11 games, with 5 home runs, 11 RBIs, 39 total bases, with a .907 slugging percentage and a .1351 OPS and a .444 OBP. Miraculous. It's ridiculous how good he is. It's ridiculous how good Bryce Harper is right now. I get the Phillies winning in 6 games, I said, but it's not even just Bryce. Rhys Hoskins only hitting .182 in the postseason with a .545 slugging percentage and .779 OPS, but has 5 home runs and 11 RBIs. Nick Castellanos hitting just .220, but 6 RBIs and has made some big plays and some big moments. I think this Phillies team wins in 6 games. I know everyone loves that Astros team. The Astros obviously might be the better team on paper, But there's something about this Phillies team. And I'm going to name some guys in the Astros that are having great postseason. Some guys that aren't. Yuli Gurriel hitting .367 with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs in the postseason. 17 total bases at .933 OPS. Alex Bregman, .333 batting average with 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, and a .975 OPS. Jeremy Pena, a rookie shortstop, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs, and a .303 batting average and .990 OPS. And if you look at it, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys with an OPS over .888. 5 guys. Chas McCormick, .250 batting average with .898 OPS. And then you look at it, Pena, Bregman, Gurriel. Alvarez has an .889 OPS, a .241 batting average with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs. Everyone talks about Alvarez like he's the best hitter in baseball. Bryce Harper, I think, is the best hitter in baseball right now. I would not take Bryce Harper over anyone in baseball. No, Alvarez, one of the most feared players in baseball right now. I'm not taking anything away from him. But he's hitting .241 in the postseason with 2 home runs. Look what Bryce Harper is doing. Hitting over .400 with 5 home runs. I'd take Bryce Harper over anyone in the game of baseball right now. As for what the Astros are doing on the mound, they've been dominating as well. They've been dominating. Lance McCullers, great postseason so far, .245 ERA in 11 innings with just 10 hits allowed, 13 strikeouts and 3 walks. Justin Verlander, 14 strikeouts to 2 walks in 10 innings with a 6.3 ERA. Did not have a great outing in one of his 2 outings in the postseason. I think he recovers, though. I think it might be tough for the Phillies in Game 1, especially if he's on the mound. I think he's going to be, it seems like. But as for who's struggling for the Astros right now, it's usually hot, is Jose Altuve. A .296 OPS, a .125 slugging percentage, a .171 on base percentage, and a .094 batting average. With no home runs, no RBIs, and 11 strikeouts and 3 walks. That's actually ridiculous, though, especially considering how good he usually is in the postseason. He's usually locked in. Bregman, another guy that's struggling. Or not Bregman. Bregman's actually having a great postseason. Another guy that's struggling, Kyle Tucker, who's had good postseasons in the past, hitting just .214. Very impressed, though, with what this Astros team's done in the postseason, though. Hitting very well, obviously, playing very good baseball. And now I want to talk about the Phillies for just one more second. I know my buddy E's tuning in right now, big Phillies fan. Shout out to the Phillies. Got some predictions here. My buddy Paul has the Phillies losing in 5 games. Don't agree with that. Mike Hurley, the sports guru, said all the best prospects for the Red Sox are Dave Dombrowski guys, and that includes Brian Bayo, Tristan Casas, both those guys, 2 of the top prospects for the Red Sox. He's not wrong there. The Red Sox, honestly, a lot of the guys I still have are Dave Dombrowski guys. A lot of them. So Dombrowski obviously does great work. A lot of their prospects, as I said, are still Dave Dombrowski guys. And as you can tell, he's just in win-now mode. And that's why I think this Phillies team wins in 6 games. I think there's something different about this team. And if you look at what their pitching's doing, the Phillies have great pitching as well. And I know I talked about Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler. Let me just talk about their stats and what they have. Zach Wheeler in the postseason has 4 starts in 25 and a third innings, giving up 5 earned runs, 25 strikeouts to 3 walks with a 1.78 ERA. Aaron Nola in 3 postseason starts, 17 and a third innings pitched, giving up 6 earned runs with 18 strikeouts to 3 walks, and 3.12 is his ERA. Ranger Suarez, a 2 ERA in 2 postseason starts and 9 innings, giving up just 2 earned runs with 8 strikeouts to 5 walks. Obviously, walks are an issue there, but 8 strikeouts in 9 innings, still impressive. Jose Alvarado out of the bullpen has a tougher ERA, 3.38 ERA, but in 8 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts to 4 walks. He struggled with walks, but 10.1 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched. I think one impressive thing about that Phillies team is how deep they are at pitcher. Sir Anthony Dominguez, a 1.17 ERA in 7 2/3 innings pitched, with 1 earned run and 3 hits allowed in those 7 2/3 innings pitched. Very impressive. Very impressive. And I think if you look at it, I mean, they really have 3 legitimate starters in the postseason. Obviously, Noah Syndergaard got a start, 5 1/3 innings pitched for Noah Syndergaard, giving up 1 earned run and holds a 1.69 ERA in the postseason with 4 strikeouts and 1 walk. I'm very impressed by what this Phillies team is doing, and my prediction right now is the Phillies winning in 6 games. And one thing that my friend Eric just pointed out is that NL East teams always beat the Astros. The Nationals did it in 2019, the Braves did it in 2021, and who knows if the Phillies are just going to be another team adding to that list in 2022. And no undefeated playoff team has ever won the World Series. No team's ever gone undefeated in the postseason. That's why I think the Phillies definitely win a game. I think the Phillies win 6 games. There's something different about this team. And I know Eric missed the first part of this. I'm going to give my prediction one more time. For all you guys have heard it now a million times. Phillies in 6 games, something different about this team. I think they make a run, and I think they continue this run. They've already made a run. I thought they were going to make a run in my preseason predictions before opening day, and now I think they continue this run and win the World Series. But nothing short of what this Astros team has done is not impressive. Everything they've done is impressive. 4 World Series appearances in 6 years. They won in 2017, 106 at 56 on the year, number 1 in the American League. Game 1, Friday night at 8:03 p.m. in Houston on Fox. Game 2, Saturday night at 8:03 p.m. at Minute Maid Park on Fox as well. So very impressive. I'm excited to see what happens there between those two teams there. I will be rooting for the Phillies. I'm excited to see what happens. Now I'm going to move on to the NFL. I'm going to talk about the Giants. I'm going to start off with them. There's a lot to talk about there. I'm going to talk about the Patriots. My friend Mark Walsh and Joey Hosey, both those guys will be coming on. Maybe even get his brother James. Let me see. I'm going to give him a text right now. Give me 1 second. And Eric just pointed out the only time the Astros won was in 2017 they cheated. Valid point there. Some valid points for both those guys right there. Mike and Eric, both those guys giving some great takes there. And hopefully the Phillies win. He can come on and maybe talk about them. Anyways, with the Giants, one impressive thing for them, they are 6-1. Best start since 2008. They actually had the best record in the NFC that year in 2008. Before, obviously, they had the whole Plexico virus incident and just went downhill after that. But Daniel Jones, 9-3 in his last 12 starts. With an NFL lead, 5-game winning drives. No other quarterback has more than 3 in the NFL right now. Daniel Jones is 7-1 in his last 11 starts, in his last 8 starts, and 9-3 in his last 12 starts. Heading into last game was 8-3 in his last 11, now 9-3 in his last 12. He had 202 passing yards and 107 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns and an 87.1 quarterback rating versus Jacksonville on Sunday. First Giants quarterback to have 200-plus passing yards and 100-plus rushing yards in a single game in franchise history. He's 6-1 on the year with 6 touchdowns and 2 interceptions with a 62.7 quarterback rating, which is actually 6th best in the NFL right now, a 90.8 passer rating overall. He's been sacked 20 times in 7 games, was only sacked 22 times in 11 games last year. So even though the offensive line is getting better, he's still being hit every game, still being pressured. But his last 4 games, there's been progress. He's been pressured 17.6%, 18.8%, 21.9%, and 14.3% of dropbacks and snaps in his last 4 games. And if you look at what he's done over his last 4 games, very impressive. So with being pressured less, 663 passing yards. I know people are going to say it's not a lot. He's still very impressive with what he's doing with his wide receivers. They had 5 or 6 drops this past week. And you look at his adjusted completion percentages on the year, 81.1%. That means if you take into account his drops and take those away, or most of those egregious drops that should be caught, Daniel Jones has an 81% completion percentage. Very impressive. And I think one thing about Daniel Jones is that he's not given any credit. He's not given any credit for what he's been doing over the last 4 games. With being pressured over the last 4 games, being pressured less, 663 passing yards, with 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a 98.4 passer rating, and 218 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns over his last 4 games. And look what he's been doing it against. He beat the last 3 NFL MVPs, with Aaron Rodgers winning 2 straight years in 2020 and 2021, and Lamar Jackson, who won in 2019, he beat over this stretch. And Lamar Jackson was 12-0 versus the NFC before losing to Daniel Jones and the Giants. And now he's 12-1 versus the NFC. So I'm very impressed with what Daniel Jones has been doing. Obviously, with what he's been doing at wide receiver, all his wide receivers are hurt. Kadarius Toney's hurt. Kenny Galladay's hurt. Sterling Shepard's hurt. Just got Wan'Dale Robinson back healthy, which is great. But a lot of these pieces on this Giants team are injured. And what Daniel Jones is doing with this Giants team is very impressive. And honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does this week against the Seattle team. I think at the end of the day, obviously Seattle was favored in this game. I think the Giants can continue to win games that they are underdogs. They continue to be underdogs, and they continue to win big games. 6-1 on the year. And I think one thing you can look at for Daniel Jones is his progression. 5-game winning drives in 7 weeks. That's number 1 in the NFL. 4 fourth-quarter comebacks. The Giants are number 4 in the ESPN Power Rankings. Daniel Jones is definitely a big part of that. 6 wins on the year for Daniel Jones. Number 1 most, tied for most in the NFL. Tied with Jalen Hurts of the Eagles. And if you look at it, Daniel Jones has cut down his turnovers. And that was the biggest flaw of his that everyone was talking about always turnovers. Well, look at what he had as his offensive coordinator. He had three head coaches and 4 offensive coordinators now. This is his 3rd head coach in Brian Daboll and his 4th offensive coordinator. He had Freddie Kitchens and Jason Garrett over the last couple of years, and Joe Judge as head coach. No one's going to succeed, especially with a 30th ranked offensive line and all the injuries the Giants have had and the play calling being abysmal. No one is going to succeed in that Giant system, especially with this Giant system right now. Not many quarterbacks when you putting up positive numbers with no offensive line. The offensive line's getting better. We're still average, but with no weapons. Everyone's hurt. Besides Saquon Barkley, which I'm going to get into in a second, not taking away from Saquon. He's had a great year. But look at the Giants' receivers. Look at their receivers. Richie James, Darius Slayton, and David Sills are your 3 receivers over the past few weeks before Wan'Dale Robinson came back. I mean, Daniel Jones is doing a lot with 3rd and 4th string wide receivers and practice squad wide receivers. And David Sills, he's a practice squad wide receiver. And Daniel Jones looked great with him. And an interesting stat I saw from CBS and I want to share really quick is that Daniel Jones' interception per attempt percentage season by season has gone down gradually. As a rookie in 2019, 2.6%. In 2020, in the second year, 2.2%. In 2021, 1.9%. And in 2022, 1.1% of Daniel Jones' passes are intercepted per attempt, which is actually second best in the NFL. Tied for second best is 1.1% as his interception per attempt percentage this season. And factor in, the Giants are being led by a quarterback at Daniel Jones where everyone quit on. Everyone quit on Daniel Jones. Everyone quit on Saquon Barkley, which I'm going to get into in a second. I'm going to talk about Dave Gettleman and how everyone criticized Dave Gettleman. I'm not saying he's a good general manager. Dave Gettleman was not a great general manager, but a lot of good things he did in hindsight weren't appreciated in the past. And I did appreciate Daniel Jones being picked at 6th overall in 2019, Saquon Barkley being picked at 2nd in 2018. Both of those he hit on. And I've been saying now for the past year or two that you give me the 6th pick in 2019 or the 2nd pick in 2018, I'm taking Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, both of those picks, 100 out of 100 times. Dave Gettleman, which I know he's not listening to this, very low chance he's ever going to hear this from me, but if I ever got the chance to meet him, I would say, you drills both those draft picks. And what he failed at was surrounding those draft picks with what could help them succeed. And what he did help them with was get Andrew Thomas, a prime left tackle with a 4th overall pick in 2020. Great draft pick there. But what he failed at was surrounding him with coaching. And maybe it wasn't Dave Gettleman as a general manager. Maybe he did great. Because if you look at what he did over the years, I'm going to break down some of his draft picks. Saquon Barkley in 2018. Daniel Jones in 2019. Dexter Lawrence at the 17th overall pick in 2019. DeAndre Baker with the 30th overall pick, trading up a ton of picks to get him at 30th overall in the first round of 2019. Obviously, great cornerback out of Georgia, coming out of college. Things did not work out for him in the NFL, obviously, with off-the-field issues. But those picks right there, 3 out of 4 he hit on. Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, Dexter Lawrence. 3 out of his first 4 first-round picks he hit on. And you're looking at who's best in the Giants right now? Those 3 guys are the best players on the Giants right now. Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, and Dexter Lawrence are the 3 best players on the Giants. And then I'm going to keep going. Andrew Thomas in 2020. Great draft pick. Once again, probably the 3rd or 4th best player on this Giants team. 2021. Trading down from the 11th overall pick so the Bears could take Justin Fields. Getting the 20th overall pick. Taking a very talented wide receiver in Kadarius Toney. Has not been on the field much at all. Who knows what that problem is really right now. I mean, it's maybe just Kadarius Toney doesn't want to play. I don't know. Very talented player, though. So I do like the draft pick. And you look at what he's done. Kadarius Toney was on the field, very shifty receiver. So I know what Dave Gettleman was doing there. Obviously saw a playmaker and said, okay, let's help Daniel Jones and give him the playmaker he needs. And that's a great draft pick if he were to be on the field. But he hasn't been, obviously. But trading down from 11 to 20 and getting Kadarius Toney let the Giants take 3 really good players. We got the 7th overall pick of the 2022 NFL draft, grabbed Evan Neal out of Alabama, a prime right tackle, which I'm going to talk about in a second, which I'm going to talk about it now while I'm here. Evan Neal now going to be out the next few weeks with a knee injury, but from week 4 to week 6, in 89 pass blocking snaps, he only allowed one sack. One sack in 89 pass blocking snaps from week 4 to week 6. Evan Neal was just turning around his season, and that pick the Giants wouldn't have had if it wasn't for Dave Gettleman trading down. I don't know if Dave Gettleman would have taken him. I'm not saying Dave Gettleman did everything right as the Giants general manager. He didn't. He didn't do everything right. No general manager is going to go 100 for 100. And one thing my sister just pointed out, the Giants did draft Darius Slayton, who was our best player on offense besides Saquon Barkley this past week and Daniel Jones. Darius Slayton we drafted with Dave Gettleman. That was in 2019. And it was a late round draft pick. 5th or 6th round was Darius Slayton. He took Evan Neal, turned that draft pick into Evan Neal. Obviously, I don't know if he would have taken him. Obviously, Joe Shane's the Giants general manager now. He ended up taking Evan Neal with the 7th overall pick. But I'm just breaking down what he's done. Trading down with that 11th overall pick allowed the Giants to take Kadarius Toney at 20 and then grab Evan Neal at 7th overall, take Daniel Bellinger in the 2022 NFL draft, and then I believe Aaron Robinson as well. I believe Aaron Robinson was in that trade as well. And if you look at it, that Giants deal really worked out for us. Really worked out for us. You got the 2022 first-round pick from the Bears turned into Evan Neal, the 20th overall pick in the 2021 NFL draft that turned to Kadarius Toney, the 164th overall pick in the NFL draft in 2021, which I believe that turned into, that wouldn't have been Aaron Robinson, he was a third-round pick. That might have been, I'm not too sure what that draft pick was. Let me see. But a lot of good things came from Dave Gettleman's era. And a lot of things we have now were from Dave Gettleman. A ton of things that the Giants have right now were Dave Gettleman draft picks. And if you're looking at this team, for the most part, everything was Dave Gettleman. What we have, a lot of the things were Dave Gettleman draft picks. So, at the end of the day, you're going to look at the Dave Gettleman era and see all the losses. Yes, the Giants were not a good football team with Dave Gettleman as their general manager. Yes, we weren't. We were not a good football team. But with a lot of those draft picks, these are only first-round picks. Look at it in the second round. Azeez Ojulari, great draft pick in 2021. Xavier McKinney in the second round of 2020, an unreal draft pick. Tay Crowder, 7th round pick, Mr. Irrelevant draft pick. He was taken last pick of the NFL draft in 2020 and is one of the best tacklers on this Giants team. Has 37 combined tackles through the first 7 games of the season. And over his career now in 3 years, 224 combined tackles with 105 assisted tackles and 2 sacks. Very productive for a guy that was Mr. Irrelevant out of Georgia in the 7th round. And he had one of the best hits of the season, actually, against Derrick Henry. I've never seen Derrick Henry get hit as hard as he did in Week 1 by Tay Crowder. So a lot of things came from the Dave Gettleman era. You're going to look at some of the misses. There's a lot of misses. Don't get me wrong. Giving Nate Solder 4 years, $64 million did not work out. And I think it was for 62.5, I think it was. Let me see. I'm going to make sure. I always want to be right. He gave Nate Solder 4 years, $62 million, which made him at the time the highest paid offensive lineman in the league, the highest paid tackle in NFL history. I believe in guaranteed money too, 35 million guaranteed. It's a ton of money there. Obviously, it didn't work out. But he took a shot. I respect it. You got to take a shot sometimes. Then obviously giving a guy like Kenny Golladay in 2021 in the free agency class. Giving him, out of the free agency class in 2021, Golladay was, I guess, seen as the best receiver. I did not want him, but he was seen as the best receiver. 4 years, $72 million. That did not work out. DeAndre Baker, 30th overall in the 2019 NFL draft, trading up for him. Did not work out. But there was a lot of things that worked out. Kadarius Toney, trading down so you can get Evan Neal 7th overall. Getting in that trade, getting a draft pick that you end up drafting maybe a future franchise tight end who just got hurt with an eye injury this past weekend, Daniel Bellinger. And here's the thing. Drafting Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley were his 2 most criticized moves. And if you look at what the Giants have been doing over the past 7 games now of this season, all 7 games this season, Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley are the 2 biggest reasons, besides Brian Daboll. Coaching is very important. Brian Daboll, the Giants head coach. Obviously, Mike Kafka, the Giants offensive coordinator, came over as a quarterbacks coach from Kansas City. Brian Daboll, offensive coordinator for the Bills with Josh Allen for 4 years. But Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones are the 2 best players on this Giants team. Obviously, Andrew Thomas, very underrated offensive lineman. Mark Walsh said he's the most underrated offensive lineman in the NFL. I agree with that. But so many things came out of the Dave Gettleman era that I never thought were legitimate things that I'd say, okay, in the future, we're going to look back and say, oh, these were great things. Besides Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, and Xavier McKinney and Andrew Thomas, you wouldn't look back and say, when we drafted Tay Crowder in the 7th round, oh, that was a great draft pick. I wanted Andrew Thomas in that draft. I loved That Saquon Barkley pick, Daniel Jones, I was against actually at first. For the first few days after he drafted Daniel Jones, I was not with it because I wanted Dwayne Haskins. But after the first couple days, I realized I'm not going to root against Daniel Jones. He's my quarterback now. And my fandom for Daniel Jones has gotten stronger and stronger over the last couple of years. I think it's because everyone's criticizing him. And I see a franchise quarterback in Daniel Jones. I had him as my 12th ranked quarterback coming into the season in my prediction with Mike Hurley. And right now, Daniel Jones, you could say, is the 7th or 8th best quarterback in the NFL. And the lowest you could put him is 10th. And if you put him any lower than 10, you're hating. Especially considering a lot of the guys I had in the top 10, Matt Ryan, Derek Carr, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson was my 13th ranked quarterback. That's 5 guys right there that I had in my top 10, which Aaron Rodgers, definitely out of the top 10. Besides all those guys I named, Tom Brady's probably the only guy you could still have in your top 10. Daniel Jones is definitely a top 8 quarterback in the NFL this year. 100%. And considering maybe it was coaching that this Giants team was missing. And I think that's what we were missing. Maybe Gettleman's problem was coaching. Getting a guy like Pat Shurmur, great offensive-minded coach. Obviously, Daniel Jones had a great rookie year, 24 touchdowns and 12 picks in 12 games. Had the same amount of touchdowns that year as Brady. And Brady played 16 games, 4 more games Brady played with a better coach in Bill Belichick and a better system with Josh McDaniels in 2019. But maybe it was coaching. And then you get a guy like Joe Judge and give him a couple years, a special teams coordinator for the Patriots and a wide receivers coach. Maybe the problem with Gettleman was coaching. Obviously, he swung and missed with a ton of things. Yes, that's going to happen. You're going to swing and miss as a GM. Look at Dave Dombrowski. He swung and missed enough where he's, had 5 jobs now. Or this is his 4th job. And now he's bringing his 4th team to the World Series with the Phillies. And one thing I didn't mention, that I should have mentioned, I haven't mentioned. Dave Gettleman traded for Leonard Williams in 2019. During that trade deadline, traded for Leonard Williams and gave up 3rd and 5th round pick. And the Giants end up signing him. It was a 3rd round pick in 2020 and a conditional 4th round pick in 2021. Then we end up keeping him on a franchise tag and then up paying him in this last offseason with Dave Gettleman. It is Dave Gettleman's last offseason, so a year and a half ago now. That was great. Leonard Williams, once again, one of the best players on this Giants team. You also make a move. You get James Bradberry, which his cap situation was a big issue. Dave Gettleman was brutal at trying to keep everyone under the cap, and that's why we have huge cap issues. You have a guy like Kenny Golladay making $21 million this year, next year, and in 2024. Because you could not keep all these guys under that cap. But you signed a guy like Blake Martinez to a 3-year, $30 million deal. Wasn't a bad move, considering Blake Martinez was the best tackle on that Giants team for a year. You signed a guy like James Bradberry to a big deal. And let me see what James Bradberry's contract was with the Giants, because I want to make sure I get that right. I never want to get anything wrong there. But James Bradberry you signed. And obviously James Bradberry didn't work out. He ended up having to leave the Giants because they didn't have enough money. But you signed James Bradberry to a huge contract. And he made $16 million and $14 million in his 2 seasons with the Giants. You signed him to a big deal. Made $32 million in 2 years with the Giants. Technically 3 years, because this year he's still getting paid by the Giants, even though we had to cut him because it was a buyout. But one guy I did not mention was Adoree Jackson. Signed a 3-year, $39 million deal with the Giants in 2021 with Dave Gettleman, and that 2021 offseason, the last one with the Giants. And Adoree Jackson has been a lockdown corner. A lockdown cornerback. Has given up 241 yards this season and a 52% completion rate through 7 games. He has been elite. And according to Pro Football Focus, he's been a top cornerback and outside cornerback in the NFL. Top outside cornerback, ranked cornerback in the NFL over the past 2 years. 2 to 3 years. And I think they had him at 12 each of the last couple years. So that's the cornerback 1 in the NFL, considering there's 32 teams in the NFL. Being ranked 12th is very impressive. So that's another thing, which I'm going to run over them one more time just so you hear them again. Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Tay Crowder, Darius Slayton, Andrew Thomas, Carter Coughlin, special team, a great pick though. Trading down, getting Kadarius Toney. Obviously that works out and you get Evan Neal, you get Daniel Bellinger in that trade. Dexter Lawrence, 17th overall pick. You wouldn't have had that 17th overall pick if you didn't trade Odell Beckham Jr., which I'm not saying I wanted to trade Odell. I didn't. I still want Odell in the Giants now as we speak. But if you look at it at the end of the day, neither team really won that deal. But if you look at it right now, the Giants have Dexter Lawrence, One of the best defensive tackles in the NFL right now. 4 sacks on the year. And he's having a career year already. That trade didn't work out for either team. Daniel Jones could have used Odell Beckham Jr., still could use him. But that trade didn't work out for the Browns. They ended up cutting Odell Beckham Jr. But if you look at Odell, what he's done since, obviously won a Super Bowl with the Rams, then ended up tearing his ACL, had a ton of injuries since he left the Giants, which he had injuries when he was with the Giants. That Gettleman trade wasn't the worst thing at the end of the day, even though I still want Odell as a Giant. In the grand scheme of things, you still got Dexter Lawrence out of it, and you got O'Shane Ximines, a third-round pick who's having another great year. Another guy's having a great year, career year, under this system. Which I'm going to look up O'Shane Ximines' stats, because I want to make sure I get that right. But there's so many guys that have career years under this coaching staff. O'Shane Ximines, 9 solo tackles, a forced fumble, with 2 sacks in the first 6 games. He did not have a sack in the last 2 years. 14 games in the last 2 years, did not have a sack. Didn't even have a forced fumble over the last 2 years. And has a forced fumble already, the first of his career, and 2 sacks. So maybe it was just coaching. Maybe coaching was an issue with Dave Gettleman, where he could just not pick the right coach. Because if you're looking at it, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Tay Crowder, Andrew Thomas, Xavier McKinney, Adoree Jackson, Leonard Williams, O'Shane Ximines are all having career years. Darius Slayton, another great draft pick. All of these guys are contributing to this Giants team that we have right now. And I'm not taking away credit from Joe Schoen, the Giants GM right now. He's done great with what he's had. Drafting Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau. Great draft picks there. Drafting a guy like Wan'Dale Robinson in the second round of Kentucky. Great draft pick there. Drafting Dane Belton out of Iowa. Great draft pick. But if you look at it, a lot of this team is Dave Gettleman picks. Dave Gettleman did great with what he had. Adoree Jackson, once again, having a career year. So I'm going to stop talking about the Giants really quick. I know I've been going off about them now for the last 10 minutes now, 15, 20 minutes probably, but I just got into it because if you look at it, a lot of these guys that we have are best players are Dave Gettleman guys. Saquon Barkley's been electric this season. Second in the NFL in rushing yards with 726 rushing yards in the year. Jones and Barkley each had 100 rushing yards on Sunday, 270 combined yards between the two of them. First Giants teammates to go over 100 rushing yards each in a game since 2010. Saquon Barkley, 906 rushing yards from scrimmage this year, with nearly 100 more than any player in the NFL. Nick Chubb is 807, so 99 yards more Saquon has than Nick Chubb. But anyways, maybe it was just coaching that was the issue with Dave Gettleman. Because there's a lot of things that you look at there, which I've been messing around with Mike Hurley, the sports guru, for years now, saying Dave Gettleman was ghetto god. Maybe at the end of the day, Dave Gettleman did a lot of good things, and maybe coaching was a big issue. Obviously, DeAndre Baker did not work out in the first round, trading up, getting him at 30th overall. Obviously, Nate Solder giving him the highest contract for a tackle in NFL history did not work out. Obviously, giving Kenny Golladay 4 years, $72 million didn't work out. But there's 10 other things that I just named that he was criticized for heavily. ESPN, Fox Sports, Colin Cowherd, Ryan Clark, Dan Orlovsky, Stephen A. Smith. So many guys get on ESPN and Fox Sports. Still, Dan Orlovsky yesterday still not giving credit to Daniel Jones. They gone on ESPN for years not giving credit to Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. And at the same time, taking jabs at Dave Gettleman, which rightfully so. He was not the best GM. But when you're saying Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley wasted picks at 2nd and 6th overall, you're taking a jab at Dave Gettleman. And no one's giving credit right now to Dave Gettleman for a lot of this team that he put together. They are Dave Gettleman pieces. So, lo and behold, there's my Giants talk. Just went off for 20 minutes. Didn't mean to at the end of the day. But now I'm going to have, which I'm going to cut some of the things I was going to talk about. Maybe I'll do my NBA predictions in a podcast episode. And maybe I'll talk about some other things like the NFC East, which maybe I'll talk about that really quick. NFC East, weakest division in the NFL for the last few years. They're 16-3 between the 4 teams. The Giants, Commanders, Eagles, Cowboys, combined 16-3 outside the division this year. The NFC East is a combined 20-7 on the year. And the top 3 teams, the Giants, Eagles, and Cowboys, are combined 17-3. Obviously, Eagles 6-0. Very impressive year for them. My buddy E is listening. I had the Eagles actually first in the division in my predictions. So very impressive for that Eagles team. I had them winning the division this year. And one other thing, I had the Giants, I think, at 10-7 in my predictions, or that might have been my sailing 10-7. I had the Jets at 9-8 in my predictions, actually ahead of the Patriots. I think I had the Jets at 9-8 and the Patriots at 8-9, which is playing out right now. The Patriots are actually 4th in the AFC East. The Jets right now are 5-2 in the year. The Giants and Jets had the worst combined records in the NFL from 2017 to 2021. Now are combined 11-3 on the year. Giants, Jets, and Bills, maybe it's the year of New York sports. The Giants, Jets, and Bills, 16-4 in New York sports in the NFL. Because I know some other teams didn't work off the Yankees, obviously the Mets. But the combined football teams in the NFL for the New York teams, 16-4 Giants, Jets, and Bills. The Giants and Jets had a combined 8 wins last year overall. They already have 11 wins through the first 7 weeks. Anyways, now I'm going to move on. I'm going to get my friends now on. Hopefully they come on, talk about Bailey Zappi, Mac Jones. We'll see what their opinions are on that. Now give me a second here just to get them on. And hopefully you guys enjoy it. This will be my call-in part of the episode. Give me 1 second and I'll be just right with you guys. Here we are. We got the sports legend, Mark Walsh, coming in now into the studio here, calling in to talk some sports. We also got Joey Hosey, college baseball player, pitcher for St. Michael's College. He came on to my radio show last year, The Playbook with Joey and Zach. Talked about the baseball season. He'll be back on, obviously, to preview this season as well. I'm not sure what my nickname was for you. I know Mark Walsh. We got the legend Mark Walsh. We got the sports guru Mike Hurley. We got the sports encyclopedia, my uncle. We got my dad, I forget what he is, the sports aficionado. I feel what my nickname was for you, Joe Ho. I don't know.
I forget. We'll have to go back and look.
But hey, anyways, I'll think of it. I'll put it in the description. How you boys doing, though? Thank you guys for coming on.
Good. How about you?
Yeah, doing great.
Doing well. Even better now having you guys come in. Definitely psyched to talk some sports. Which is the thing. I didn't talk any Patriots. I want to save this for you guys. I want to save the Patriots talk for you guys. Obviously, tough game last night. But one thing going into this week that's a big question is Bailey Zappi versus Mac Jones. Obviously, they lost last night. Both guys, I mean, Zappi came in, performed well right away, but didn't really work out in the grand scheme of the game. What are you guys' opinions on Mac Jones versus Bailey Zappi going into next week?
No, I want to say this. I want to say, I love Mac. Mac's a great quarterback. I haven't got the results I want from him yet, but I think he does have the potential to maybe turn around. But I do want to say, Zappi comes in. You could tell he just got the dog in him. He's ready to go. Like, when he comes in the game, he's ready to go. And I know it faded a little bit at the end of last game, but I'm just saying, he comes in the game, he's ready to go. He marches down the field twice. He's slinging the thing all over the place, like he's been throwing the ball for 50 years. Like I don't want to say it yet, but just like he's somebody else that used to play for New England. And I just want to say that's great. We back.
Yes, sir, I'm back. That's my fault. It's my computer. If I tap the side of it, some glitch and the thing just goes off. So keep going. No. So you said Zappi was slinging the ball around, looking good, obviously. Things are looking up. Go ahead.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. And I think that, honestly, Bill Belichick is used to having a quarterback that can make those throws, that can make a throw without putting the ball in harm's way. And I think that, honestly, Zappi's done that a little bit better than Mac Jones in this season, at least. But Mac Jones obviously has shown flashes. So the way I see it is, I think you put both of them out there, see what each of them keep doing, and kind of ride it out like that. And just whoever wants to play and whoever wants to win is going to be our quarterback.
I like that. Mark, what do you think, kid? Let's hear your opinion. I don't mind that.
I came on last week, and I remember I talked to you, and I said, when asked whether or not the Patriots had a quarterback controversy before Monday night, I think the best way to describe it was almost. And I think what happened last night was now there is actually a quarterback controversy. You put both guys in the game. It looked like for a second Zappi was going to bring us back from the dead against Chicago, and it didn't happen. I think that was honestly the worst-case scenario for the Patriots. Not only did you get blown out against a team who was an absolute embarrassment coming into that game, but they had 10 days to prepare against you between Thursday Night Football the week before to Monday night last night. And they used all 10 days, and they were prepared for everything that the Patriots threw at them, except for the first 2 drives with Zappi.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Mac Jones and it's just like a sophomore slump, or if the play calling feels that much better when Bailey Zappi's on the field, just when they have been able to move the ball, like the last 2 drives of Bailey Zappi football in New England. Because after that Jacoby Myers fumble, I just feel like, the team is deflated. But if the Patriots are looking to turn the season around from this point, which, you're on the bottom of the division, basically.
3-4, but I mean, it's not over yet. Season's not over.
It's not completely over yet. I mean, I don't want to write them off entirely. I know I came on the show before and said, they'll beat the bad teams, and it looks like they make a turnaround. But if you lose to a team like Chicago like they did, it doesn't feel good. I want to see Bailey Zappi get the football off rips next week. Do I think it happens? I have no idea. Belichick has made sure to seem...
I want to
leave everything up to mystery, but we'll see.
I got to surprise you guys in a second, too. Keep going, Joe.
I want to say this. I want to just say, look, when Zappi's in the game, the ball's moving. And all I'm going to say is I haven't really seen how Mac Jones can do that. And I just want to say, and as a Boston fan, this kind of hurt. Because Mac Jones, we have him. He's been our guy. We've been trying to make it, so he's our guy. And, I mean, he gets 3 drives, and everybody in the stands is just screaming, Zappi. We need Zappi.
Yeah, that kills his confidence. Now you lose him.
As a New England fan, that hurts, but I'm just saying, until Zappi proves not to be that guy, let him ride.
Here's the thing. Here's how I feel about it with Zappi, which I like Zappi. Nothing against him. I always root for an underdog. I think Mac Jones started going into the season. I think Zappi, before this week, fell into 2 really good situations against 2 bad defenses in Detroit and Cleveland. They never trailed in any game. He never really had to have any pressure on him. They went in with lower expectations as a third-string quarterback, especially being drafted out of small college. You don't really have the highest expectations being a 4th-round pick or whatever he was, 3rd or 4th round. I think it was 4th round. But when you're a 4th-round pick, there's not really the highest expectations for you as a third-string quarterback when you step in. So the playbook is a little bit easier on him. I think things were a little bit easier on him than they were on Mac. I think they expected more of Mac going into this season, so I think it was really a lot harder on Mac pressure-wise. And I think one thing you look at, Zappi did start the game hot yesterday, like you said. I think he was 5 of 6 for 106 yards and touchdowns in his first drive or 2. Second drive, third, fourth drive after that. Obviously finished the game 14-22, 185 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks. Mac 3 of 6, 13 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. One thing, though, that I think that the Patriots had a problem with us, and now I think kind of put themselves in a tough predicament, is when you bench Mac Jones, whether that was the plan or not, you lose his confidence. And now even Bailey Zappi, you might lose both their confidence just with Bailey Zappi not knowing if he's going to be the starting quarterback. Now, I don't think you can do a half and half thing. You got to have both feet on the same side at the same time. I think you might lose both guys' confidence. Definitely Mac. I think Mac's head's now going to be out of it. I truly do, and I wish nothing but the best one. I like Mac. But one more thing. One second before I add anything, I do have a surprise for both of you guys. James Hosey will be joining the call. I'm adding him right now. I wanted to tell you guys. I told him I'd text him a second, but I didn't want to interrupt you guys talking, so I said to him I'll get him in. Here we are, Boston legend James Hosey on the call. How we doing, James?
Joey.
My boy, how we doing?
Joey, coming at you live from Boston Garden.
You beast. I love it. Look at you. He's working.
TD Garden, baby.
There you go. I love it. You're live on the job. Hey, we're talking Mac Jones versus Bailey Zappi. Any opinion on either one?
Bailey Zappi.
Yeah, hey, I'm just saying, I'm on this podcast right now. I'm talking. I already gave my spew or whatever about it, but I just got a text from the legend, Mike Hurley, saying Zappi got the dog in him, and he does.
He does.
I think he does.
Bailey Zappi does. Hey, you know who also has the dog in him? James Hosey, former Boston Latin, unreal goalie. He's legend goalie. Legend goalie.
Mark, you watching the Bruins?
I am, yes. Bruins up 1-0 after 1, just to shoot that in real quick. Pasternak with an absolute snipe.
Absolute bullet of a slap shot.
Yeah, it was 84 miles an hour, top corner. Goalie had no chance. So
Unreal.
James Hosey at the game, absolute beast.
James Hosey on the job. He's giving us opinions here, sports. I love it. We appreciate it. Anything you want to add in, James, about any sport? We can talk anything. We talk Red Sox, Celtics, anything you want.
Sure. I just want to add in that Joey went against my advice and put San Francisco's D in for fantasy this week.
Joey, what are you doing?
Going up against the Chiefs, I asked him, what are we doing? He goes, trust me. Joey, -4.
-4. He didn't start Daniel Jones. I said start Daniel Jones. I told you guys. Saturday night I said start DJ.
On my defense, I want to say we won the week.
We won the week by like 0.5 of a point.
You want to know why we won the week? It's because Damian Harris is not Damian Harris anymore. I'll just put it that way.
He blew it.
And second off, I will say that I just have confidence. I have our team is so strong in fantasy that I couldn't drop anyone.
You guys are stable. You guys are a really good team. I think it might be James doing the draft. I don't know if it's Joey. I think it was James. James knows his sports, right, James?
Definitely, Joey. I know my sports: baseball, soccer, hockey, football.
You know it. Oh, hey, I got a good question for you though, James. Hey, you obviously did some Red Sox games. You worked some Red Sox games in the dugout. I know you're hoping probably we sign Devers and Bogarts. Do you think both guys come back long term? Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
Because the Sox have a history of letting good people go.
Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts. How about Vasquez? He's in the World Series right now.
You're right. It's a good point. I didn't mention Vasquez in the World Series. Good point.
Yes. Starts to the year as a Red Sox on the Red Sox, and I don't know. We have a history of doing that, don't we?
I think Devers. I think Bogarts leaves. I think there's no chance he comes back. I'd be shocked.
I mean,
What did we give up? What did we get for Schwarber? Trading Schwarber?
Nothing. We traded a random prospect to get him, and then he left in free agency. He just walked. We just let him walk.
Agency. He's in the World Series. Almost in the MLB.
Yep, the most in the NL. Yeah, number 2 in the major leagues. But
and then he hits the furthest hit ball at Petco Park.
He did. He did.
We traded him for a bag of Cracker Jack.
I know, and then you don't sign him. You don't keep him long.
Nobody even eats Cracker Jacks.
Yeah, no, I don't know. We could have got something for him if that was the plan to let him go. We could have got something for him. But I do want to say too, they wouldn't have got Trevor Story if they had planning on Xander Bogarts. In my opinion,
the Sox were saving money so they could give out bobbleheads before the game.
Hey, Aaron Judge, percent chance he becomes a Red Sox? It's a good question.
Dude.
Low. Very low. You're not going to pay Devers and Bogarts. You're not going to pay Judge. But what do you guys think?
I'm going to say there's probably like a 30-70% chance that he doesn't.
I'll say 10%. All right, I'm with it. James, percent chance he's a Red Sox.
I was going to go 30% chance he comes to the Sox.
Okay, that's actually not bad. Mark?
I'll go a soft 20%.
Okay, middle. I like 30. I mean, it's not bad. We have the money to spend, especially considering we have a lot of guys at free agents this year. Evaldi will be leaving. Walker will be, probably opting out.
I'm just going to say, I think the Red Sox need to be looking at arms. We need pitching.
Yep.
You're not going to go anywhere in the MLB if you don't have 3 guys you can consistently put out there. And maybe that fourth or fifth guy coming out of the bullpen in the rotation that you maybe have a good start, but you need 3 solid guys you can have somewhat confidence putting them out on the bump.
I have a stud right now, free of charge, that already works at the Red Sox games in the dugout. James Hosey, bring him out of the bullpen. Bring him out of the bullpen.
So Joey, I was just going to say that I have worked in the dugout, and I actually heard that they were talking about this right-handed pitcher's sidearm out of Burlington, Vermont right now. Ryan Hosey.
Ryan Hosey, baby. Get him on the call. Where is he?
We maybe would have at least not been last place if Ryan was pitching for the Sox.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Tommy John, he's back and better than ever.
I mean, I'm just saying, I think you could have went anywhere in Boston and found somebody working in an office that could have pitched better than they pitched this year.
All right, Jacob Curley.
Yeah, honestly, go to Staples. I mean, it would have been a speed difference at least.
Jacob Curley. Hey, I got a good question for you guys though. And this is now switching back to football. Tom Brady, Bucks lose to the Panthers this weekend. Is the Brady era in the NFL coming to an end?
Absolutely, and I'm so happy to see it, Joey.
I just want to say, I'm very disappointed for him. He gave up his wife, his kids, his family, his dignity, his legacy is, coming up on him. It's not even touched yet, but I'm just saying it could be. And I'm just saying he's just disappointing to see.
That's what you get when you don't shake someone's hand, because you get a donut in one and napkins in the other. Joey, he did that to our dad?
Seriously?
He was living in Marina Bay. He used to go to the Dunkies on Gallivan Boulevard, and my dad went to shake his hand. He said his hands were full.
That's actually tough. I never knew that. I never liked Brady anyways. Now I like him even less. It's great.
Yeah, but Joey, you got to respect his talent.
No, I do respect the talent. I think over the last couple of years I respected him more. Mark knows I drafted in fantasy last year, so that was a start.
Yes, sir.
Can I throw a quick topic out that me and James...
Throw everything out. Absolutely. It's free open. Go ahead.
I want to hear you guys' opinion. Me and James are going back and forth texting about this, calling about this for days, and me and James rarely talk sports, but James thought it was bullshit that Chara retired a Bruin, and that and I said I had every right to believe that Chara should be a Bruin retiring.
Well, I think he should retire a Bruin. I think it was good that he retired a Bruin. You should always retire a Bruin if your legacy was with the Bruins. That was his best legacy in the entire NHL, all the teams he played for.
I'll fire off three quick things, three quick takes right now.
Yeah, Mark, go. You go.
One, Chara's best years, his prime, his only Stanley Cup. He wore the C in Boston, lifted the cup, the highest it's ever been held.
Boston
in
legend.
2011.
And he won the Norris Trophy in Boston. He was, a huge part of our franchise for so many years. I think it's a no-brainer that he retired his number here. They'll retire his number eventually, but he retired a Bruin. Second thing, really sad to see Brady fall off a cliff. Max Kellerman said it was going to happen about 8 years ago now, and it looks like it's finally here. The only thing that I will say there, I think he might not fall off a cliff yet, even though they lost to an absolute dumpster fire of a team, is they have the weapons there to make it happen still. They still have those guys, Godwin, Evans, Fournette, the guys they won the Super Bowl with years ago. They're all still good. And Judge, the only reason I think he might sign with the Red Sox is because even though John Henry's proven that he doesn't want to spend money on stars, is that Judge's box office. There's no other way to put it. Even though the Red Sox already do it anyway, Judge puts seats in the stands, fans in the stands.
I agree with that. I think it'll be tough, obviously, to get Judge in Boston. I think it's a 10% chance. If you're not going to pay Devin and Bogarts, probably not going to pay Judge. Another thing, if you look at it with Aaron Judge, I think he's going to end up either three teams. My possible teams are there. Yankees going back to San Francisco Giants, Los Angeles Dodgers, Mets at 4. I think the Red Sox might be 5th. I think you got to really beat those 4 teams there.
If he goes to the Dodgers, I'm not a baseball fan.
Mookie Betts, supposedly they said today in an article, Chris Cotillo of MassLive.com wrote an article, my buddy, beat writer for the Red Sox, wrote an article today that the Dodgers are talking about putting Mookie Betts at second to make a run at Aaron Judge to play right field. Which would be nuts.
It would work. The sad part. It would work.
Which is nuts. And then, I don't know. I mean, James, what do you want to say? You get in.
Do you think that they'll let Devin and Bogarts go so that they can pay Judge?
I don't think you can. I think Bogarts might be gone anyways. I think Bogarts is gone anyways. I think the thing with Devers, though, I think Devers you keep. I think Bogarts is gone. Maybe that money you save, you do end up getting Aaron Judge with. Who knows? But obviously we'll see. We do have our other friend in the call. One of our boys, Paulie G, in the cut here. So we got all the boys in here, which is unreal. The whole squad. Paulie G, big hockey fan. Let's get his opinion on Zdeno Chara retiring a Bruin. PG, should he retire a Bruin, yes or no? Me, Mark, Joe all agree he should have. James Hosey does not. Who is doing? What's going on there?
It has the static on the phone.
Sounds like somebody's underwater.
It does.
Oh, it's that.
Is it Paul?
Paulie, take the AirPods out.
Oh, you're in the wind tunnel.
My bad.
All right, the AirPods are out. Now you can hear them.
Yeah.
Sorry
I think Paulie was driving on the Zakem Bridge as he was trying to come into the call.
It sounded like Paulie G was laying in the ocean, dude. You couldn't hear him.
I joined the call because I heard someone said that Zdeno shouldn't have retired a Bruin, and I wanted to come and slap.
There we go. This is Boston Sports, baby. Boston Sports Radio. PG, what's your opinion on it?
I think he should have retired a Bruin 100%. I mean, he broke his jaw for the fucking team, you know? Oh, excuse me.
You're good. Don't worry. You're good.
He put Max Pacioretty on a fucking stretcher so he could retire a Bruin.
100%.
Hey, he won a cup in 2011. Mark did point that out. The only cup the Bruins had in that whole
Hey,
tenure.
Joe, J-May.
Yeah.
You think Golden State is in trouble next year?
No.
I think Golden State's 2-3 more years down the line still going to be dominating. They still have Steph Curry under contract some years. I think if you look at it, they won last year without Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and James Wiseman even playing. That's 3 rookie or second-year guys now, second and third-year guys that didn't play at all last year in the finals. I think that team's set up to win for 3, 4, 5 years to come, truly.
And they just signed Jordan Poole. I mean, the kid's unreal.
They're set up to win for 3 to 4 years to come. I do agree, though, with you. Maybe they do lose a couple pieces, though. Draymond Green maybe after this year. Klay Thompson, maybe they move in a year or two. Who knows? Steph Curry will be there for years. I think Steph Curry stays a Warrior his whole career. But we'll see. What do you think?
I don't know how they're paying for it all.
It's all about just putting money out and not caring to go over the luxury tax. Look at the Clippers right now. They're well over, but if you want to have Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, Reggie Jackson, all these guys on the same roster, John Wall, you got to spend and put money out. That's what the Red Sox didn't do. What's your opinion of the Celtics this year, James? Obviously, you're a big Celtics guy, too. What do you think
Celtics are the balls.
Celtics are the balls, baby. Do you think they make it back to the finals?
Of course.
Really? You think they beat the Bucks? I think the Bucks are a team to worry about.
What do you guys think about Jason Tatum possibly having an MVP season?
See, here's my predictions. I was going to give predictions for the NBA season. I was going to name 3 guys. One I thought was going to win MVP. One I thought was going to be a runner-up. And then a couple of dark horses. Jason Tatum was none of the 4. But I think he has a really good year. I think he's going to be a second-team All NBA, which he was last
So
year.
you don't think they're going to beat the Bucks?
I think the Bucks beat the Celtics in 7. I think or not even. I think it's Bucks Cavs are actually my Eastern Conference Finals. I think the Celtics lose before that. Actually, I do.
Are you serious?
Honest opinion. I get on it. Mark knows I give opinions that sometimes against my teams. I mean, I come on and give my honest opinion. I do think the Bucks are a better team. I think the Cavs team, very young team, very deep, and have a lot of star talent. I think they would beat the Celtics as well. Just my opinion. But what do you think, though, James? You think the Celtics beat the Bucks?
I don't know. Yeah, I do. I absolutely do.
I think Chris Middleton would have made a big difference last year. I don't know.
I agree.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't know. Obviously, that's tough. I know Mark's a big Celtics guy, Joey too. What are you guys' opinions on the Celtics? Do they make it back to the finals this year? Do they make the Eastern Conference Finals? What do you guys think? James,
I want Robert Williams to come back.
That's the X factor right there. Great point.
That is.
Yeah, I mean, what's he out for? What did they say? A couple months
or something?
January-ish, right? Somewhere around January.
But how do you say a couple months? It's crazy.
I know. He's had a lot of injuries over his career already. Young career, he's been hurt a ton. But
No.
what are you guys' opinions? I'll ask all four of you. Celtics, where do you guys think they end? Eastern Conference quarterfinals, semifinals, Eastern Conference finals, NBA finals. What do you four think? We'll start with Mark. Where do you think the Celtics end?
I think the Celtics can go back to the finals. I think the Bucks have a down year. I'm big on them.
I respect that.
Chris Middleton, I do agree he would have made a big difference last year. The only thing I think that the Celtics problem is that you lose Ime, who coached them and got them to the finals, and I think Missoula is still unproven. I don't know how much of a hold he has in this team, and you know how the NBA is. But I do think the Celtics are the team to beat in the East right now.
Sure.
They definitely can, but I take them to go to the finals again.
I'm not saying I don't like the Celtics. I like the Celtics. And I still think they can make a run. I just think the Bucks team's better, and I think the Cavs are just a rising team. That's why I had them in there. You got to mix it up with your predictions too. I had the Red Sox in the World Series, and that didn't get us anywhere. So can't always have it our way. Joho, you're next, kid. Where do you think the Celtics go?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that this comes down to Malcolm Brogdon. I think that our team is obviously good. I think we're obviously able to make a run. I mean, we lost the coach, but even this coach has come in. He's been good. I like how he's running the offense. Everything looks all right. And I think that it comes down to how good Malcolm Brogdon wants to play and how good he can play. And the East is tough. I think, obviously teams like the Cavs getting Donovan Mitchell, all that, I think that all plays a factor in it. But
Heat, Sixers, Bucks, yeah, this is talent, you're right. Nets.
But I do think that, if Malcolm Brogdon can give us 15, 16 a night and come out there and just play good and be that one more scorer that we need, I think that absolutely we can make a good deep run.
I like that. I like what James said about Robert Williams. I think Robert Williams, besides Jaylen Brown, is my favorite Celtics player. Maybe he's even first, honestly. Might be more of my favorite than Jaylen. I would agree with James. Maybe it relies on an X factor like Robert Williams. James, where do you see them going? Do you see them going to the finals? Do they win?
Yeah, at least the Eastern Conference Finals.
Eastern Conference? Okay, I got you. I respect that.
I think they could be in the NBA Finals again, but it's going to be hard just like last year. It's not just going to be – it would go all the way to Game 7.
You're right. No, it
really close games. And Joey is not coming into my house next time because every time Joey sat in the house, they went down by 10. And then when Joey would leave, they'd have like a 15-point run every single time.
Come on, Joe.
Horford would come in.
Yeah, and Joey would come back in and say, get out of the house.
I mean, hey, what's that movie where the own coach of the 76ers can't watch the games because they lose? I don't know what the movie is, but or even in Moneyball when he can't watch the A's. It's like that, all right? They're my team. Maybe I can't watch, but I'm telling you.
Hey, Joey Mailbari.
Yes, sir.
You talk a lot of Boston sports, but I never hear you talk about the New England Revolution.
What do you think about Revolution? I have not talked Revolution. If we want to stop that, we can right now. Let's do it. Let's talk some.
I don't even know the first thing about them. I just know they're looking for a new stadium. You think they're going to get that?
Could hope so. I mean, here's the thing. They're not going to get anything in Boston, obviously. So you got to do it in the outskirts of Boston, whether it's Worcester or like.
Now they could put it in the Seaport somewhere, Joey.
They could, but there's so much congestion there. I wouldn't. Being close to Seaport, where I am at Southie, I wouldn't want that personally. But at the end of the day, I mean, you never know. There's a lot of money. People.
All right,
people
get paid. The Seaport.
If the Patriots move there, that'd be interesting.
No, but would you accept that, or is it just because of the Revolution?
It's just in general. I mean, even the Patriots. I'm not a big Patriots fan, so at the end of the day,
Joey, there was plans at one point. There were blueprints drawn up for a stadium in the Seaport for the Pats.
That would
They
never
obviously
work.
got the itch now.
Dude,
And
there's
I
so
guess-
much congestion there. There's nowhere to park
Never
anywhere
worked.
there. It's ridiculous.
been
I live in
awful.
Southie. It's tough, but, Seaport's even worse to a degree.
Imagine if they went to Hartford like they were supposed to.
Would have been nuts. You're right.
That would've been
I love
terrible.
it. We're talking some revs. I love it. Why not? Why not? We're mixing everything. Hey, Paul, I want to get your opinion really quick. Celtics, where do you think they go? Finals?
I'm not one to be
Just
talking
give us a
about
prediction.
basketball.
Who cares? Who
but,
cares? Give us a prediction. Finals?
I would like to see them hit the
NBA
finals
finals?
like they did last year, because that was a really good series, and I really liked. That's the only way I catch into basketball. So
Hey, one thing I want to mention really quick, which I know me, Joey, Mark, Paul were all at this game. We even told James, and we came back to his house afterwards. Saturday nights are a great hockey game between Northeastern and UMass Lowell. Big Hockey East game there. Obviously, UMass Lowell gets a win 3-2. UMass Lowell was very impressive in that game, Paul. I know we talked about their power play. One of the most aggressive power plays in all of college hockey. I've never seen a team that not only
Penalty
tries to
kill.
steal the puck, but score on the power play. What was your opinion of that game, P?
we were saying that they had a really aggressive penalty kill, and they really tried
That's
to
what I meant, penalty kill, exactly. Sorry, I said power play.
overpower the other team during the penalty kill, which is really unseen in hockey. You try to be more conservative, but UMass Lowell is, especially since what I've noticed last year and this year, is they've always been very aggressive on the penalty kill, and it's kind of worked out for them a lot, to the point where when we get a penalty, I'm like, oh damn, like we're gonna get a goal, and then when we get a power play, I'm like, oh, we should be worried here.
Hey, that basically means that I should be playing from UMass Lowell, because I'll go to the box whenever.
Oh yeah, totally.
Hey,
totally.
J-May,
Yes, sir.
I want to hear what your favorite MLB City Connect jersey is.
Okay, I like that. I'll give you this. I think it's the Angels one. I love the LA Angels one. I love Joel's already shaking his head. I love like that logo. You know, they have the number in between like the home plate or whatever on that right corner. I think that's so sick. That's so fresh. Joel's shaking his head. He's not a big fan of that drip. I love their logo. I actually have their City Connect hat, so I'm gonna go with them. I think it's very clean. I love the red and white. It's like a red and like beigeish. I love that. I think it's fresh. Joel's not a fan.
All right, what's the worst one?
Worst one. It's a good question.
You shouldn't even have to think about that.
You think the Red Sox one?
No,
I was gonna say it
Dodgers.
better not be.
The Dodgers.
I was gonna say it better not be the Red Sox. I like the Red Sox one.
The Red Sox one's awesome. The Dodgers.
Dodgers. You're not a big fan of it?
They write that. They use that font for every single jersey ever.
Yeah. Let me see. I know what you're talking about. Let me see.
They could have put like the Hollywood sign or something. I don't know. Use this.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, you're not wrong. I agree with you.
Not
It's a little
creative.
bland considering they could have maybe done something
The
else.
best MLB City Connect jersey is the Miami Marlins, hands down.
Oh, elite. Actually, I'm with you there. I'm probably gonna go. I'll stay with my Angels pick. I'm not gonna switch up. I'll have them at second. Elite.
I'm just saying, and it resembles my MLB team because they were so dirty.
It's drip. What about you, James? What's your favorite?
This is gonna be a hot take.
Okay, my Angels one's a hot take. So,
I like San Diego's. I like the crazy colors.
dude, you like that? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, have you ever been to San Diego?
Never.
If you're on the beach, on Pacific Beach in San Diego, wearing that jersey and a pair of sunglasses, and you got a little maybe I don't know, a pina colada in your hand, Joey, you're like, oh, nice. This is awesome. These colors really fit this atmosphere.
Doesn't get any better. Other than hanging out at your house, James, last Saturday night. That was unreal. Nothing gets better than that.
Well, you got to come over for like a big game because you hear Tommy Curley throwing the air conditioner out the window every time.
Maybe even his baby.
Next Patriots game, I'll be there. Maybe I'll bring them some luck. You never know. But one thing I want to get you guys' opinions on. All four of you guys follow hockey very much. Obviously, you guys are very into hockey your whole lives. I know Mark's a big Bruins guy. All the rest of you guys played hockey. Bruins 5-1 in the regular season already. Obviously, missing three great pieces in McAvoy, Marchand, and Grzelcyk. What are you guys' opinions on this Bruins team? Where do you think they go? We'll start with Mark or Paul. Paul, you start. Paul, go.
I personally think they're going to go pretty far this year.
Yeah, you're not going to give a round. You can just say how you think they do. Exactly. Go ahead. That's my fault.
I think they're just going to go pretty far this year. I personally think that they're really hot right now, and usually that's how it is at the beginning of the season, and then they tend to slow down and then try to pick it up a little more so they can stay on top. But I think they're doing really good, and I think that getting I don't know why I'm blanking on his name right now.
Who?
Who did we just get back?
Oh, who did you get back? Mark would know this. Come on, Mark.
I should not be blanking right
Came
now.
back into the lineup like a couple games ago, but Bergeron coming back and Krejci from overseas.
Well, Krejci obviously come back. I think he's talking about an injury. I think he's talking about an
Getting
injury.
Krejci back, he's hot right now, and I feel like that's a once it's
Krejci got the assist off the goal today.
He did. Look at you,
Yeah, he did have an
James.
assist on the goal.
Keying in. I love it. James is locked in. I love it. I respect that, Paul. I'm with you. I think they can make a run too, especially considering they're doing it without one of the best goal scorers in the NHL and Marchand, one of the best defensemen in the NHL, which me and Mark talked about last week, in McAvoy, and then obviously a very good defenseman in Grizzly. That's three great pieces there for that Bruins team they'll be getting back at some point. Next up, I'll go with Joho. What do you think about this Bruins team? What have you seen out of them? Where do you think they're going to go? You can answer anything or anything or everything, whatever you want to do.
I think that there's just always something special when you have your guys, your Boston athletes that want to come back and want to play. And I mean, Krejci coming back and everyone doing everything they can to be healthy, and Bergeron saying, I want another year, like, let's go. Like, you just I don't know where they're gonna go, but all I can say is, like, you can just hope that they go to the finals.
I'm with you. I like that. James or Mark, who wants to go first?
And I want to see them in playoff hockey because
I'm with you.
Playoff hockey is some of the best playoff sports.
Oh, it is.
I don't want to make a concrete prediction.
Yeah, you can just say how you think they've been playing. It doesn't have to be a prediction. It can be anything.
But what I will say is,
like.
Even without, like you described, JMA, two or three of our best players, I think Marchand and McAvoy are two of the best at their position in the entire league. This is a really, really well-rounded, good team right now, even without them, and I think it's hopefully going to only get better with them coming back to the lineup. And I feel really good about it. A lot of people were low on the Bruins coming into the year. A lot of people thought, Krejci wouldn't have the same pep in his step when he came back, to play in the NHL. But I think, the chemistry between all these guys is evident. They've played. The new system under Coach Montgomery has gone really well, and I think, I'm hoping the sky is the limit for this team.
Definitely. I'm with you there. They've looked great. They had goals from everyone. I mean, they had 12 different goal scorers in their first 5 games or 4 games, which is ridiculous.
Yep, Foligno's already exceeded his goal total from all of last season, too.
You're right.
The guys we got back, the additions that we made, even a signing like Greer has turned out well so far. So
hey, Greer had one of the coldest Instagrams I've ever seen from an athlete ever. That was unreal. That Instagram you sent me and DM the other day.
I used to pray for times like this to shine like this. He played junior Bruins in his younger career days, and to be in the actual Bruins now, contributing the way he is,
he's killing it. He's killing it. And so one last thing, James, what do you think about the Bruins? What have you seen out of them? Where do you think they're going to go? Anything along those lines? What do you like out of the Bees, James?
Joey, you can mark this date down. I think the Bees are winning the Stanley Cup in 5.
All right. Hey, I'm with it. I don't mind it. I love that. Right to the prediction.
No idea.
Joey, you put these Bees up against any of the other teams. Bruins are historically unpredictable.
They are.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Hockey, for example.
Like, hockey, in general. But, like, I like this Bruins team. I like, Joey always says that this Celtics team, this Bruins team, for that Red Sox team, you always say that on the No, I like it. I like the line with Krejci.
I do say that a lot.
Krejci, Pasta, and Hall on that line.
James, if the Bruins win in 5, I'll buy you a nice steak.
Buy it anyways, because he's the GOAT. Best goalie in BLS history.
All right, Joey, I got one more topic for you.
Go ahead. Keep shooting them.
I just been thinking about what. So, one of my roommates is from Ireland, and the other, his parents are both from Ireland, and they wake up every, I think, Monday morning. I don't know for sure, and they watch the Premier League.
Sunday mornings, early Sunday morning. Yeah, early Sunday morning.
And they watch the Premier League, and one of them is diehard Liverpool, and the other is diehard Manchester City.
Yeah, rivals there.
And so, what are you doing? Where are you going? Because they're going to be listening to this one. So, what do you think?
All right, here we go. Listen, my sister's a big Liverpool fan. So I've always been a Liverpool fan because of her. Even though I don't follow soccer as much as the other 4 sports, I've really gotten into it just lightly because of her. But if I had to pick between those teams, I'd go Liverpool. Obviously having a tougher start to the season this year, but they were just in it last year. I think they're a point off from winning the Premier League last year, which is no playoffs in the Premier League. I think it's just based off wins and losses and your point total in the regular season. But they just barely lost last year, which was tough. I think it was just by a point. Came down to actually the last game of the year. But they started out cold this year. I think they started out, I think it was 0-2 or 0-3 or something. Won a game or a couple games since then. But one thing I think to watch out for them is they have a ton of talent. Obviously, John Henry's the owner. I think he cares more about them than he does the Red Sox.
I was going to say that earlier. He cares way more about that than he does the Sox.
He 100% cares more about them than he does the Red Sox. But I do like Liverpool. If I had to pick a team between those two, I'd go Liverpool. Obviously, Man U, them being rivals with them, it's tough to obviously to have two of those, same in the same household or in the same family, which is tough.
Joey, they get into fistfights.
It gets Premier League soccer. They take pretty intense. Even soccer in Europe just in general.
Aaron has a Liverpool tattoo.
Who does?
Aaron.
Oh, your buddy Aaron. Yeah. I didn't know he had it. It's him. He's the big Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
I respect that. I like Liverpool. If I had to pick one, I'd go with them. Mo Salah, absolute beast. A couple other guys my sister's a big fan of. She watches every game, actually. So my sister's one, you're talking about getting up early Sundays. She'd watch that over a Giants game. So crazy to hear it.
I'm going to have to run in a second, but I want to end with this. We should have a mini hockey tournament coming up pretty soon.
I'm with it. Hey, James, before you leave, one last second. I want to give you a quick question. I'm going to give all of them it. You can answer first. Favorite Boston athlete in the history of Boston sports? Who is it?
David Ortiz.
I like it. I was going to go top three. But you're busy. You got to get going. I get that. But
top three? Hold on. No. Let me think.
Tom Brady.
All time.
It's a tough one.
It is hard. You can just give me a couple. Give me five if you want. Can't think of three. I don't care. It's whatever you got.
I'm gonna let James answer, but I'm just saying before I answer, I'm throwing curveballs. I'm not going the top headlines. I'm going Boston athletes that I love, that I think deserve to be mentioned right now.
All right, I like that.
All right. Ready? David Ortiz. I love Manny Ramirez. I'm gonna go Papelbon, and I'm gonna go Sean Thornton.
I love it. A little bit of everything there, you beast. I love it. Hey, thank you so much for coming on, Jamesy. I appreciate it. I know you got to go, but thank you so much. Always a pleasure talking to you. Always a pleasure hanging out with you, and hopefully have you on again soon. Thank you.
All right, well, when I'm going to bed tonight, I'm going to have to listen to what their top threes are.
I got you. I'll send you the link. Don't worry. This will be up in like an hour. I got you.
All right, listen, mini hockey tournament. Tell your friends.
Let's do it.
All right, see you later.
You're absolute beast. Have a good one, James. Take it easy.
Thanks, bye.
All right, Joe, you want to go first, or?
No, let one of them go first.
Mark, Paul, either one of you ready? Top three or favorite three Boston athletes ever? I mean, I got a couple. It's tougher than a third one, honestly, for me. But I got a couple.
Yeah, I mean, to go with the top three is hard. I'm going to say, I think I got mine, actually. Obviously, for me, Patrice Bergeron, I mean, the guy is, absolute class act. Captain of the Bruins now, was a huge part of our cup run in 2011 and runs through the cup final. I'm also going to go with Tim Thomas. He was like my hero when I was like little, watching that 2011 Bruins team. Mm-hmm. First year I ever really got into hockey, and couldn't have ended better than the Bruins shutting out the Canucks Game 7 to win the cup. And then the third is a toss-up. I want to say Big Papi or Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady brought us so much joy here in New England as well. But both of those guys, man, you can't find a more clutch athlete than them.
I like that. No, I'm with you there. That's pretty good. Pretty good three there. Diverse as well through sports-wise, all of you guys. Joho, Paul, who's up?
I'll just start off.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of my favorites ever was Brad Marchand. I looked up to him as a kid, and I really liked the way he played hockey and all that stuff. So
I like
he was
that.
a really big influence on me, and I like how he was like kind of like a guy that everyone pushed around, but he liked pushing people around too. Wise mouth.
I love it.
Another one I liked that everyone slept on was Eric Howla, and I was really mad when they got rid of him this year.
I don't mind that. Hey, he was pretty good last year. He had a couple good runs.
Good.
He scored a couple of goals, and like 5 goals in like 2 games at one point or whatever. 6 goals in 3 games or whatever.
I don't know. I liked him. I thought he was a good player. Everyone gathered around him, and he just mixed well.
I like that. I like having a curveball in there. I like that. Keep going.
Yeah. And then I have to throw a third one. Is hard to go for, but I want to say Al Horford.
Al Horford, you beast. I like it. Hey, that's pretty good. I don't think Horford would be mentioned anywhere else. I like it. He's getting some love. He's getting some love. I respect it. You guys all do a little bit of every sport, which is nice. None of you guys are just picking three Patriots, Brady, Edelman, and Gronk. That's pretty nice. It's, it's a diverse group there. Joho, what do you think? You got it? Did we lose him?
I think we lost him.
All right, we lost him. Hey, it's all right. I'll give my 3. I'll give my 3 first. You hear me? This will be great. Number 1, tough to pick just one guy. I'll probably start off Isaiah Thomas. I'm not going to give it in order. Isaiah Thomas, one of them. Legend for that Celtics team. I think if you look at it, Isaiah Thomas, what he did for that Celtics team, the reason why we got Al Horford.
Did he kick me out?
Nah, they just like went out for a second. I don't know what happened. I was giving my 3. Isaiah Thomas, first one I named. Absolute legend.
Yep, Isaiah Thomas was...
Isaiah Thomas, legend. The reason why you got Gordon Hayward and Al Horford, some of that was Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas, what he did after his sister passed away, he'll always be a great basketball athlete.
He chipped his tooth off the ground, fractured his hip. His sister passed away. He banged his mouth off the ground, chipped a tooth. His sister passed away, flies across the country, and then gets back at 4 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game, then puts up 52. Absolutely ridiculous what he did for this Celtics team. And if you look at it, no one had as much fight, love, grit in any sports. I think Isaiah Thomas is number one in my opinion. No one would have played through those three things. No one would have. So I give him credit right there. Toughest Boston athlete. Love Isaiah Thomas more than any. Even though he played for the Celtics for, 4 or 5 years. Number one favorite Boston athlete ever. I'll put him one. Honestly, I didn't rank him at first, but I'll have him at one. I'll give a current guy, Alex Verdugo. Put him in there. Little wild card there. Love Verdugo. He's the reason I watch Red Sox, even when they were out of it in September this year. Hopefully we sign him long term. He's still got a couple years left. Alex Verdugo's 2. 3's the hard one. I think that's tough for all of us. I think honestly it's not easy picking a third. If I had to pick a third one, this is tough. This is hard. I mean, David Ortiz is an easy one to go with. Growing up, I was a big Manny Ramirez guy, so I'm going to go Manny.
Manny.
I
Alright,
can't
Joe,
even pick 3.
You
I'm
got
just going to
5?
throw out some names, and you guys can talk about any of them if you want. But I'm just going Isaiah Thomas, no-brainer.
Unreal.
David Ortiz, no-brainer.
Unreal.
Tim Thomas, no-brainer.
Yep.
Patrice Bergeron, no-brainer.
Yep.
I'm going Jacoby Ellsbury.
Dog.
Yeah, dog.
Dog.
Such a good dude. Kurt Schilling.
Dog. Kurt Schilling's
Yep.
going to be in mine, just being a beauty.
I'm going Paul Pierce.
Dog.
You're too young to even know who Tim Thomas is.
Who's Kurt Schilling, Paul?
I don't know.
Exactly.
He doesn't like the Red Sox, though. He doesn't care about the Sox much.
All right, and let me throw another one in.
Did you say Papelbon yet?
Daisuke Matsuzaka.
Dice K, you beast. I love it.
The beauty.
Dude, I've never been in Fenway. I've been to a World Series Dodgers Red Sox game. I have not been to a more electric game than when Daisuke Matsuzaka was coming out of that bullpen and everybody in the freaking stadium was going, Matsuzaka.
Yeah.
So,
He was an absolute beast.
And then to top it off, we'll go Sean Doran and Milan Lucic.
Okay, I like it. You gave a nice realm there. You gave every sport, touch of everything.
was
One
thinking
person we did all forget. We all forgot a couple, actually. We all forgot 2.
Oh, jeez.
Joey and Ryan Hosey, baby. They're in mine. They're in my favorite Boston athletes ever. I'll throw them in.
Love it.
And then Paul Gerard, too, for his men's league games. So I love those.
Of course.
Paul actually thinks I don't enjoy going to them.
Do we have more time? Or
Dude, yeah, we're good. The kids, there's no one else coming in. We got time here, so we can keep talking if you want. You guys are free.
All right, I got another topic I want to bring up real quick.
Go ahead, shoot them. Go.
What do you guys think about the NBA doing a mid-season tournament?
Dude, yeah, I don't understand it. Here's the thing. I know they want to do it.
Is that something? Oh, it's not official yet, but it's
not official. They're in the works of it, right?
It is a thing, though. It is a thing.
It's going to be, yeah. I don't know if I like it, though.
What exactly does it entail?
It's like a tournament. You get a trophy type of thing. And it's a tournament between all 10 teams, all 30 teams. They play 8 games each or something.
Yep. And then it's basically just
top 8 seeds overall play.
Who's the best team, like, mid-season.
That's interesting.
How does it affect legacies? I mean, Mark, these are
money poll.
These are 10 regular season games, Mark. So if you play 82 regular season games, you're playing 8 of these.
It's basically like the Bean Pod, except the NBA. Like,
essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah, very good point.
Which is crazy because, exactly, how does it affect legacies? Because, like, say you do this, say now that guys like that are just rising now, you got Jason Tatum, top of the league, whatever, whoever else that is a young talent, like, say they get 4 mid-season titles and, 2 championships. Like, what does that mean? If, you know what I mean? Because, you got Michael Jordan that wins 6 regular rings. Like, that's obviously more than, like, a 4 regular season tournaments. I just think that's where it gets...
Yeah, that is interesting.
I didn't think of that, though. It's a good point.
That is a good point, yeah.
Because
obviously the guys who have already played can't add, those regular season, like mid-season titles to their resume. And I think that's another reason I didn't necessarily like the idea of the NFL adding the 17th game. Because eventually, a lot of like the passing records, the rushing records, the touchdown records are all going to be broken because you're giving guys an extra 60 minutes of football to capture those titles, And look, you almost saw Cooper Kupp break Calvin Johnson's record, and I really liked what he said last year. He said, what he did in 16 games shouldn't be compared to what I could do in 17. You know what I mean?
He's right.
And so I thought he was kind of a class act for that. He's always been. that kind of player. But, it just brings up the same point there. How does that even add to the resume in some people's minds?
That's the thing. It doesn't add to a team's goal, because at the end of the day, if you have a guy that's hurt, that's a little banged up, you're going to rush him back for the tournament? Probably not.
That's what I was thinking. Like, do you even play your top players in that mid-season tournament, or do you wait for the postseason to make sure that they don't get hurt?
So those count as regular season games. I think it counts to 82 record. It's just the playoff games won't count, in the tournament playoffs, but it'll count as your regular season record. So I guess they'll still play guys. But I don't think you're gonna rush guys back. I'm with you, Paul. I mean, do you just play guys, your best guys? Do you? I don't know if the tournament's gonna be. You play every day, like it's AAU. Like I don't know what it's gonna be. I don't know what it's gonna be like. What that entails, but obviously those details are important in knowing what what the itinerary is of it. But who knows?
I mean, if they, it would be cool if they did a bubble-like situation.
I kind of like the bubble. I thought it was kind of sick.
The bubble basketball was insane.
Dude, it was sick.
It was.
It was actually
insane, but the players hated it. They didn't get to be around their wives.
I don't like that aspect.
Obviously, it happened for a reason. It was a once-in-a-lifetime thing, but there's no way you could convince I totally 100% agree. The bubble was sick.
I just thought it was cool that they were all together.
It was cool.
I thought it was cool
considering the time and everything like that, and the fact that they could have that championship and still play basketball and entertain everyone else who was still staying at home. It was a good time. So I can agree with you there.
Hey, one last topic I want to, and this is another transition there, which I love the flying from left to right. So we talked about Brady, maybe he being done. Aaron Rodgers losing 3 weeks in a row now to the Giants, Jets, and Commanders. Aaron Rodgers, what's the future? What's Aaron Rodgers' future?
I'll chime in here first. So I had Aaron Rodgers in one of my fantasy leagues, and I traded him today. And I think that should tell you how I feel about that team, how I feel about that offense right now. I am completely down on Aaron Rodgers. I think a lot of the Sports Center segments have been talking about Rodgers and Brady, like this is the worst stretches they've had in their careers, and it's happening at the same time. Like, what do we think? And I think for Brady at least, and I mentioned this earlier, at least the answers to the struggles are on the team. The weapons are still there. You know what I mean? For Rodgers, you just let your best weapon walk. And that offense, hasn't looked the same. You put them up against a Washington team who has a secondary that has struggled horrendously throughout the course of this year, throughout the course of many years.
Can't score either. They can't do anything.
Yeah, right. and they can't get the ball moving. Like they you got guys who are dropping the ball. And they have two of the best running backs in the league, and they still couldn't get it done. I mean, that was just pathetic. And also, they're playing against the backup, who, to be in fairness, Heineke has started for that team in the past, but still, Rodgers, that is not a game that historically, he's going into, and they're going to lose, especially in that fashion.
You're right. That was a bad
loss. So I don't know what's going on in Green Bay. I still believe, Rodgers back-to-back MVP. He's one of the most skilled athletes, quarterbacks of our generation ever, honestly, as well. But as of right now, I just can't see that team producing, and within the snap of a finger, and it's been rough to watch.
He's missing his wide receiver one at Devontae Adams. That made a huge difference. I think that makes a big difference. You get him another wide receiver one. Maybe he goes back to similar numbers. I don't think he's ever going to be as good as he was with Adams. That connection was just elite.
The Packers are
I just don't know.
Making calls for a wide receiver now. I don't know, what type of guy they'll be able to get.
DJ Moore, probably, maybe Odell you signed. I don't know, but Odell's too late in the season. They weren't.
Ultimately, I think Packers management did it to themselves. I mean,
Elijah Moore
been there for years, back-to-back MVPs, and they never spent a first-round pick in a skill position. I mean, it just goes to show you they never wanted to help him, and he was still able to make it happen. I mean, and until now, there's still a good chance that they can turn it around. I said before the season I didn't think they would win the division. I thought Minnesota was going to take it. Looks like they're in a good place to do that right now. But, yeah, I'm down on the Packers.
I'm with you. Joe, what's your opinion on Aaron Rodgers?
He's got nobody.
He doesn't. Romeo Dobbs.
He's down Schitt's Creek without a paddle. And, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And, I mean, I would just hate to see this be the end of him, I would just hate to see it, but very well could happen.
They say that you don't want to trade him, but if the Panthers somehow decided to part ways with DJ Moore, I think he's one of the only guys the Packers could land.
Elijah Moore, maybe Jets.
Elijah Moore as well, yeah, but I don't think he's that guy. Put him on the outside or win a one-on-one as much as DJ Moore.
Yeah, they should have known this though going into the season. Alan Lazard, although put up good numbers at the end of last year, was with Devontae Adams taking the number one corner. So now you have
Exactly.
the number 2 corner on Lazard, and Lazard is a good wide receiver too. I'll say that. He's
Yeah.
not a wide receiver 1. Pretty good wide receiver 2.
He's had productive games and everything like that, but
Exactly. He's a wide receiver that
wide receiver
you
1
trust.
numbers out of a guy who's undrafted. You know, like, and I'm okay. It's happened before, but you know, like that offense, man. I didn't realize how much they relied on Adams until now.
You're right. Yeah, it is. It's hard. Paul, you have any opinion on Aaron Rodgers or just not a fan?
Yeah, no, I can't really speak on this topic.
That's fine. Hey, you're not a fan of him anyways. I'd probably imagine so. It's all
I
good.
tried to get Daniel Jones for Aaron Rodgers, but the guy who had him had Kirk Cousins and offered me him instead, and I said, okay, I'll take Kirk.
Oh, DJ over Kirk, dude. You should have.
I wanted to, but he said he wasn't. He said he wasn't going to budge. I know.
Quick question: where do we see Odell going?
Me and Joe May have been talking about this for weeks, and he knows where I stand. I don't know if it's where he'll end up, but I want him back in blue. I want him back at MetLife.
I said tonight, I want him back on the Giants. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's a different organization, obviously, now than we had when he was there. The front office is different. So even though we traded him, those guys are all gone. Dave Gettleman's gone, who I mentioned. So we'll obviously see what happens there. I do think the Rams are a possibility, even though the Rams are bad. So if you look at it, he's probably going to go to a good team. I think right now, honestly, if I had to choose 3 teams, Rams, Bills, Giants. Those are my 3. I think the Giants are still on the top.
Yep.
I think the Bills.
Chiefs were brought up in that conversation.
Chiefs are in there. Ravens are in there.
Yeah.
Chiefs, Bucks.
Yeah, I saw there was a segment. It was Travis Kelce's podcast with his brother, and they had mentioned, you know, just the rumblings and things like that. And Travis Kelce wasn't really willing to speak on it. I think, you know, Odell, no matter what happens, you saw what happened last year when he went to the Rams. They were a complete curveball of a team. You know, they've been throwing out 5, 6 different teams in the mix, they said, for weeks, and then out of nowhere, it felt like LA, you know.
And do we think Odell is going to be Odell when he comes back?
I hope. I don't know. We'll see, though. The injury's tough.
It's tough. It is tough.
I think he'll still be good. But I don't know if he's going to be getting 10, 12 targets a game, maybe just 7 or 8, and you're not going to throw him over the middle as much as he used to.
The reason I think the Giants is if they were healthy, right, if Tony's healthy, if Wandale could stay healthy, if Golladay was good,
Sterling
then
was
I
healthy.
think that
if Golladay was good.
I mean, it's true. I don't think that they would necessarily be in the conversation. But you see Saquon and Odell are still very close. Odell said he wanted to bring a Super Bowl to New York.
I think he could, honestly.
Because, you know, the Giants are honestly the NFL team that, even at 6-1, could benefit the most from getting a wide receiver. I think it's, you know, a marriage made in heaven. I'd love to see him go back. And I know, Joey, you'd love to see that more than anybody.
Oh, I'd be so psyched. I mean, Daniel Jones right now is throwing a Richie James, a third-string wide receiver, which we like Richie James, a third-string wide out.
We do like Richie James. Yep.
Darius Slayton was a fourth string of the depth chart, fifth string of the depth chart before the season started. David Sills, practice squad guy. Marcus Jones, a practice squad guy. That's Daniel Jones' 4 receivers right now besides Wandale Robinson. He's throwing to nobodies. I think Daniel Jones could definitely use a guy like Odell. I think anybody could use Odell.
And Bellinger's down, too, now. Eye injury, so that's...
Evan Neal, Bellinger, both out.
Yep.
I don't know if you heard my segment. I did go off for about 30 minutes on the Giants. I did talk about Dave Gettleman.
Yep. Yes,
I
sir.
did talk about Dave Gettleman.
I believe it. You changed my perspective. I'm not going to lie.
Semi-beauty.
That was a good argument you made.
Yep.
Dude, I did get into it.
I
My
felt
sister
like I was
Laurie
listening
texted
to
me.
Colin Coward, except he actually had a brain.
Okay, I'm with you there. Not a big Colin Coward guy, dude. Last week he gets on the air and he's saying the Giants are winning just because of the defense and everything, and I just turned it off. We still don't know about Daniel Jones. Well, I'll tell you this about Daniel Jones. The turnovers are down. We're scoring. We're winning games. That's all that matters to me. He's throwing to 4th string and the 5th string wide receivers. At the end of the day, no one's going to succeed in that Giants system. Still throwing to 5th and 4th string wide receivers.
Yep.
Put Patrick Mahomes there. He's not going to throw over 12 touchdowns to Marcus Jones.
Think about it, too. You said last year Daniel Jones had one of the most, if not the most accurate deep ball in the NFL.
He did 2020, number 1. 102.7 rating, whatever.
Give him a guy who can stretch the field. You know, I think a guy like Tony comes back. Man, that offense, that you could add another layer to that offense. It's already been winning games.
Hey, we're talking football. We didn't mention. This is a throwback. This is like, I don't even remember when, like February 2020 maybe. We had a 10-10 game, me and Paul versus you two. Mark and Joe versus me and Paul. That game was never finished. I checked the line in Vegas today. Me and Paul have the ball and we're still favored by a touchdown and a half.
100%.
So, because it's win by 2, we're favored. I'm with
I don't know
Paul.
about that. I might have to get back in the gym and get ready to, get some cardio and be ready to lock up Paulie again.
Paulie threw like 8 tutties.
All I'm going to say is I was on the field today, had my cleats on, had my gloves on. I made a catch.
Couple losses?
I had one in particular to win the game. I went up. Kid was taller than me. All I'm saying is I came down with the ball.
No worries throwing the ball to you.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show that, you know, if you put Paul on me, kid's taller than me, coming down with the ball.
It's not hard to
I'm
be
taking
taller than
PG.
you.
I'm taking PG all day. Paul George, Paul Gerard all day. PG-13, baby. Anything else you guys want to add in, though? I mean, I'm free. We can just keep talking if you want to. You guys want to go, too. I don't want to keep you guys all night, but...
No, I mean, I'm down for whatever.
All right, we'll have one more segment. We got to think something good to close with here. I mean, we had the 3 Boston athletes. That was pretty good. That was a fun segment to do. Let me think. We can switch up from sports. Favorite artist to listen to? How about that?
Oh, geez.
I can't even.
That depends on the season, man.
All right. Hey, before a game, you got to get pumped up. Big game. Hockey. You have a game for hockey. Joho, baseball. Me and Mark, football, the Moke.
Well, it depends.
Me and Mark skis hockey.
It honestly, and I'm being so serious, depends on my mood. Because if I'm in a little bit of a in a rut, I don't feel so great, but I'm ready to go play baseball. Dude, I'll throw on some Carly Rae Jepsen, Call Me Maybe, or something like that.
Dude, I'm with you. You
to
already
get
know
me
what I
back
listen
in
to.
the element. But if I feel like I got that dog in me today,
Lil
I gotta
Baby?
get ready to go, I'm playing that Meek Mill. I'm getting Meek Mill on the radio. I'm getting it pumping through my
Lil
ears.
Baby?
I mean, hey, if I'm feeling like a stud, I'll go all in by Lil Baby. The walk-up song from last year. You know what I mean? But it really depends on the mood. I could even play some breakup music, even though I'm, happy or doing whatever. But
I'm with all that stuff. All good music, dude.
you know what I mean? So whatever helps me get in the frame of mind, I guess.
I'm with you. I'd probably go Kodak and Yachty still if I had to pick a song to get pumped up to.
If you're trying to get into a mad mood, definitely Kendrick or Eminem.
Get you in your
That's
feels.
what I used to do.
Get in the zone.
I also like any repetitive music gets you in a focus kind of zone. So I think that's what I found was better for me.
I'm with you. I like that.
Get more focused, I play better.
That's a good point. Mark, what do you think, kid?
Just now, Bruins goal, Pasternak, cross crease, Taylor Hall, one-timer. So
2-1 Bees, baby.
Celebrating that one. Love to see it. Taylor Hall's been on fire this year.
Yeah, he's looked great. Big goal last week to win on Saturday.
Wait,
yeah. I gotta say, if I have one pump up song, it kind of depends.
Or an artist.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. None of my songs are really pump ups, but as of right now, I'd say Finders Keepers, Internet Money is a great song. Get pumped up. I used to bump The Baby. I have a lot of his songs. I made an old pump up playlist from 3 years ago. Back when I felt like he was on top of the game. So
and then he fell.
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to know your opinions on Kendrick. I mean, we have this conversation all the time.
Yeah. I think he's overrated.
Are you serious?
I think he's overrated. I do think he's very talented. I think he's got some good music. I've never been the biggest fan, I'll say that. But I think he's talented. I think he's good. Never been the biggest fan.
Bring
Just
it
not
up
my
at
type.
the end of the show.
What'd you say?
Bring it up at the end of the show.
I'll say this. I think
he's a little overrated.
Conversation. We've had heated debates about this before. I think Kendrick is the kind of rapper who will have all these Easter eggs in his songs and, all this writing that will go over, the average listener's heads. But because, he's a rapper and he's been in the game and entrenched in, that lifestyle for so long, that's what really adds to, his music and everything like that. But, if you're someone who's coming for the melody and isn't necessarily there for the story or the intricacies of the music, then Kendrick isn't necessarily for you as much.
That's a great way to put it. I think he's got some good songs. Sit Down, Be Humble. I know Joe was a big fan of that.
Yep.
Back in 2019, 18. We were playing BCS baseball when we won the chip. 2017, 18, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say I don't know. I think he's the Anthony Davis of the rap game.
He's hot sometimes, but not always.
I say he shows that spice. He got one good game, maybe two, maybe good
Is he a top 5 player? Is he not? Yeah.
Couple good songs,
and then averages out,
and then he gets injured, and then he fouls out of a game, or he's just I don't know. Like you said, I think he's a little bit overrated. I mean, I respect it after long discussions and long car rides listening to him after I shared that I did not like him. But I respect his talents, but I think he's the Anthony Davis of the rap game.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Everyone has their opinion.
Hey, it's all right. I like it.
It's not the right opinion, but it's an opinion.
I'll say this about him. I think he's talented. I'm not saying he's not talented, just not my type. I mean, that's fine. Not my type of music. I see why you like it. I see, just like Mark said, there's intricacies in it, and there's obviously a story behind every song, and that's up some people's alleys, different than what I was with Kodak and Yachty. But that's fine, though, right? We all got different music tastes. But I think it's a good question. I mean, we all play different sports. We're all getting locked in at different times. Gym, baseball fields, hockey rink, whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's nice to know you guys' songs that you guys listen to.
I'll throw this as one more question from me. How do we feel about Zion getting injured again?
Dude, no luck. John Morant might have been the pick of the draft. Mike Hurley said during that draft, John Morant should go first overall. I thought he was nuts because even though I liked Ja a lot, Ja was my favorite player, I thought no way anyone would consider Zion not be the first pick. He might have been right. Mike might have been right, but no luck with Zion. I think he's a very talented player. Obviously, injuries now the last 2 years. Not really much luck. What was the time frame on this one? I didn't see the time frame.
I didn't see it yet either.
I'm not sure either. But all I just know, he can't catch a break.
I know, and that team, I like the Pelicans a lot this year. I mean, especially getting him back. They were a playing team last year. Brandon Ingram I like a lot. You got a guy like Jose Alvarado who's been great on the defensive end and making some good plays.
CJ McCollum.
Yeah, CJ McCollum's been great for them too. And it felt like with Zion back, they were going to be able to get the ball rolling, and now it at least goes on hold. I mean, they'll still win games, but if he's not going to be there for a playoff run, it's going to really
ugly.
Be hard, and especially in the Western Conference too. You got teams like the Warriors, the Clippers, as well as I know Joey, you say is your favorite team. So
big Clips guy.
Yep.
Clipper mentality.
I will say I just did some research. It's not a major injury, but I
hip
guess
contusion, right?
Yeah.
Still any injury with him though. Once he gets hurt, he stays hurt. So any injury with him's tough. It's just like Sterling Shepard, Anthony Davis, Robert Williams. Once they get hurt with anything, they're out a while.
Yeah.
They're out a while typically. But anything else you guys want to add in before we close? I don't want to hold you guys all night, but I know PG's got some work to do, I'm sure. Mark's watching the Bees.
Yes, sir. You know it.
Joe's going to go work out. I love it. Anything else you guys want to add in, though? We'll close with one more question or something, one more segment, something. Anything, Mark? You got anything crazy?
I think I'm good for now. Yeah, I feel like we covered a lot of good topics tonight. Phillies in 6, baby.
Okay, yeah, World Series predictions. That's good to close on. I know Paul said Astros in 5. Thank you, Paul. I got Phillies in 6. Joe, what do you got?
I need the Phillies to win. I would just say this. The Astros, they have a lot of great talent, but I will never, until the day I leave Earth, the Astros after they cheated like that.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
As a fellow pitcher, too, I'm not a fan of cheating.
I'm going to change my prediction. I'm going to go Phillies in 7.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a hard-fought series. Like you said, the Astros haven't lost a playoff game yet. I don't know how they'll respond when they do to the Phillies because, yes, the Phillies are like that. But then I think on paper, you look at the Astros, their pitching staff, everyone like that. I think that overall, the Astros, you could say, and you can make an argument that they're the better team. But I said this the other night. I'll say it again. I think the Phillies caught lightning in a bottle. You hit the nail on the head, Joey. You said it before everyone else did. Bryce Harper right now, best player in baseball. And I think the Phillies take it. I think if it goes to that, magical 7th game, I think the Phillies will pull it off.
They got the pitching. I mean, both teams are really good pitching at the end of the day. So they got the pitching. We'll see what happens there. Paul, your prediction was Astros in 5, correct?
I was just joking about that. I do want the Phillies to win. I don't know much about baseball, but
Phillies in what, 6, 7?
Yeah, I'd say 6 or 7. I think in the very finals, it always usually goes to like 6 or 7.
Well, it's more money. The leagues love that, so I'm with you there. They love that. It's more money, more games, more ads on TV.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wanted to talk about that real quick before we get on. Do we think that the playoffs are rigged, or at least the finals?
I think they want things to go.
The first few games.
I would say they want things to go as far as they can always. Yes, I would agree with
that. If I had to point to one league and say it could be rigged, I mean, the NFL has had some shining problems.
Dude.
I think the NBA has, too.
NBA, too.
Oh, NBA as well, yeah.
Some bad calls on both of those, NBA and NFL. It's a big month. NHL, I think NHL is kind of as fair as is. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to say rigged. I don't want to go that far.
It might be a little skewed, a little. Where
times where you experience corruption, and you hate to see it compromise the sport. Like you said with the Astros cheating scandal, obviously you never want to see that in any sport.
All I'm saying is if I'm the umpire for these games in this series, I'm giving the Phillies every close borderline call, and the Astros are getting none.
Ring them up. Ring them up.
Yeah, ring them up.
You beast. I'm with you. So we got Phillies in 6, 7, and Joho, you got the Phillies in what, if you were to pick?
Let's go. I'm right with you guys, 6 or 7.
All right. We got 4 Phillies there. It's pretty impressive. Not often do you get all of us on the same side of sports take, especially considering anything but baseball.
Yeah,
We're going to
it's
baseball.
going to be a battle. I mean,
but football never with the Patriots and the Giants, huh?
Yeah,
but it will be a battle. It will be a battle.
Except for that Saquon Barkley's an absolute dog.
He is.
Called it before the year started, and now everyone's all over him again.
And that DJ is underrated.
DJ's unreal. I just went off tonight about DJ for like 20 minutes.
Oh, trust me, I was listening.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate it. It means a lot. PG was even chiming in, giving some disrespectful text, though, saying the opposite I was saying. But, hey, you might be right, though. Maybe the Astros do win in 5. You might not be wrong at the end of the day. But, anyways, boys, I'll let you guys go. But thank you guys so much for coming on. You guys are always welcome to come on and talk. I love this. This is unreal. We even had Jamesy come in. I mean, how lucky were we?
Live from the Garden.
Live from the Garden. We got live from St. Mike's, live from UMass Lowell, live from Dorchester, and live from BC. I mean, that's just a touch of everything. No one's live from Southie, unfortunately. Should have got my dad in here just to get him going.
Thank God.
Should have had everything.
Next time we got to call him Mike Hurley.
Mike Hurley's watching the Bruins. He didn't want to come on, but we should have got him on Sports Group. If I told him you guys were coming, he definitely would have. But he was listening live. He wanted to watch the Bees. He'll come on next week. If you guys want to come on next week, he'll be on next Tuesday. So
absolutely.
Tuesdays with the Sports Guru, the Sports Legend. Joe, I forget what your nickname was, and Paul, I got to make one for you, but I'll get there. I'll get there when I get there. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for coming on. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. You guys took the time to come on for an hour and a half, whatever it was, hour and 10 minutes. So thank you guys. Much appreciated.
Thanks for having us, man. Time.
Hey, my brothers, thank you guys so much. Have a good one, boys.
All right,
you do the same.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to this. I will close up now. Just to give you guys a breakdown of what I'm going to cover probably in my next episode on my podcast, which this will be uploaded right there. I'll give some predictions to the NBA season. I didn't do that tonight. I'll talk about some college hockey between the BC UNH game from this past weekend. BC won that game 5-0. Then Northeastern losing 3-2 against UMass Lowell on Saturday night at Matthews Arena. And then I'll talk what happened in the Phillies-Padres series and the Yankees-Astros series a little more in the NLCS and the ALCS. And I'll talk about some other things going on in the NFL. But anyways, thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to this. I want to start out with all my thank yous. Thank you, James and Joey Hosey, both of you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Mark Walsh, Paul Gerard, a pleasure having both of you guys on as well. All four of you guys brought in some great takes about sports. It was really great talking to you guys. Having all 5 of us in a conversation was really something special. So thank you guys. It really was a pleasure. We talked everything. Baseball with the Red Sox, Celtics, Bruins, Patriots, Liverpool soccer, the New England Revolution, BLS hockey, Northeastern versus UMass Lowell. I mean, we really covered everything and even did some takes on favorite Boston sports athletes and even gave some takes on music that we listened to. It was really cool. It was a great episode. I think this is probably my favorite episode I've ever done, truly, which was awesome having all of them come on. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to this. Thank you so much. As always, it's a pleasure being able to come in here and just talk, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen. So thank you so much to the Loftus family, Auntie Lisa, the Keefe family, my whole family, everyone listening home, all my siblings. It does mean a lot, all you guys listening in every single week. And everyone else listening in as well, the Sports Guru, Mike Hurley, Easy E. Thank you guys always for listening. You guys always give me some great takes, and I'm happy I could add in all of that. Thank you guys so much, the whole O'Malley family. I'm getting choked up here with the amount of words. I'm throwing out a million names. But the whole O'Malley family, Maureen O'Malley, and the whole entire family, Murphy O'Malley, thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to this. It's great having you guys listen in. Hopefully I'll have you guys call in at some point soon. The whole O'Malley family, Keith family, Loftus family, my whole family. It's a pleasure having you guys all listen in Auntie Lisa, and then everyone else who called in. The Hosies, James, Joey, Paul Gerard, Mark Walsh, and, of course, James Hose, the legend, calling in from the Garden. Great having him come in. Anyways, thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to this. I will be back in the studio for this, the Primetime Sports Podcast, next Tuesday night from 7, 8 o'clock, maybe even 9 o'clock again like we are right now, since no one comes in after me, so I can really just keep this going until whenever. I will be back in here, live in the studio, WZBC AM Sports Studio, next Tuesday night from 7 to 8, talk all things sports again. I will probably upload a couple podcast episodes over the week as well. And then also I will be live on air tomorrow night, 8 to 9 o'clock, for the Playbook with Joey and Zach, the show I had last year that me and Zach got back in the studio for last week, our first episode in 6 months, which was great, 5 or 6 months, which is awesome getting back in the studio. So I will be live again tomorrow night from 8 to 9 for the Playbook with Joey and Zach, and then next week from 7, 8 o'clock on WZBC AM Sports Radio. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to this. As always, I appreciate it and hope you guys have a good one. Take it easy and take care. Thank you.